jump. Climb out on the roof, just jump, motherfucker, you a lazy little shit. Why not jump and just fucking quit? It's your own fault, boy, you never did enough. And now you're gonna pay for the fucking shit you say. Victim blaming, mental shaming, always bitching cause I'm gaming. But this shit now I'm proclaiming, and I'm aiming for the house of lies that you built on the hill of the dagger that you staggered my ass with. Now you haggard, I'm so aggro. Call your fucking son a faggot. Why so ragged? You a maggot. See a dollar and just grab it from the mouth of the starving reprobate. So much hate, bitch, I needed an escape from the rape of my sanity. Humanity is drained from my motherfucking corpse as I hit the fucking dirt. All the fucking hurt and the shit I can't recall dies with me. All the shame and the failure, I'm a terror. Fuck my mirror, time to fix this fucking error. Yeah, I'm the bearer of this shit, and I wear it on my wrist. Now it's time to cut it out and just grow the fuck up. In my mirror, it's a vision that I see of myself. Damn, I'm looking like my father, so why even bother? Or die for my mother, so I'll never treat another the way that he fucked her. I'll break this damn cycle and jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Just jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, 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 motherfucker. When there's evil in my heart and there's Satan in my veins, I'm insane. Best get stitches in my brain or a cane, cause I can't fucking stand on my own 2 feet. Feet is my only fucking path. I'm a retreat, can't rest until my brain hits the concrete. Fuck you, I'm just tired of this DC and these lies that you fucking spew, and the shit you put me through, and the shit you fucking do. But sometimes I just wonder if the shit you say is true. I'm just so damn rude and irresponsible to boot, and I'm the fucking reason mama's cutting her wrists open. I just see too much, play too much, got some shit to say too much. Never clean my cage, I must. Such a fuss, boy don't cuss. I'ma fucking take your trust, give to God and make it rust. Time to bust, mustn't lust, gonna leave you in the dust. Live a life that's unjust, into hell you will be thrust. Satan is your just reward, you don't get a fucking sword. All of time you won't be bored, only flames, just rest assured. When my warnings you've ignored, you'll be punished by the Lord. Cast aside you are abhorred, grace will never be restored. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Just jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Just jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Just jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, jump, jump.
God damn it. Okay. What up, y'all? Chat. Yes, thank you. Okay. Sorry, as I was saying, I have to be the first one. I don't know if you guys were unable to type in the chat before, because for whatever reason lately, I've had to be the first one to type in the chat for it to work. So, yeah, I don't know. But good to see it works. What up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome. Moop. Moop indeed, yo. Jump, 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 motherfucker. Jump, motherfucker. I gotta see if I can come up with like a way to redo that song and sing it in a more like feminine way. One day I'm gonna try to do that with all my. I might not be able to do that with my old music, but maybe I'll write some shit in the future that works that way. I'll be honest, I don't have a good female rap voice yet. So oh no, I guess I'm not a woman because I rap that way. It's fine. One day I'll get good at it. All I Want is Blocked by TJ Kirk. You're telling me, yo. I want that song too. I'm desperate for that song to be done, yo. I want it done. But, you know, when you work with other people, you gotta be aware of their schedules and shit they're dealing with. And, you know, some people actually have real jobs. Okay? Some people don't just sit and do this all day. Surprisingly enough. Hey. I don't sit and do this all day either, by the way. Cause like I would if streaming made me money, I would probably stream like 8 hours a day. Cause believe it or not, I do like the attention. And I don't mind spending my time here with you guys. It's just I got other shit to do. I gotta be productive. If doing this was productive, I'd do it more. Not productive, yo. That sounds like a good name for a YouTube channel. Or maybe a website. Maybe a website that's an alternative to YouTube. How do you guys feel about donating to that? Donate to my not productive YouTube website. Totally not a scam situation. Good times, yeah. Okay. Yeah, TJ's a scammer. We all know TJ's a scammer. We love him anyway. Okay. How's everyone doing tonight, yo? What up, the Blather Strike? The Blatherskite. I keep reading that wrong. The Blatherskite. Okay, what up, Hyun? What up, Realize TV? And what up, everybody else out there in internet land who is probably too lazy to type, which is fine. I get it. Y'all have had a long day. You just want to sit back and watch some quality fucking content, which I am happy to oblige. I'm wearing this right now because, okay, I'll show you guys, but it's really like warning if you're like, I mean, you won't be able to see it well, but like I have this like really bad like thing on my shoulder. It's like all red and shit. There's like a big like pimple that like grew, and like there's this other one that's like in a, yeah, it's bad. My shoulder is like really bad. I don't know what happened. It just like broke out. And like a bunch of like pimples like grew like right on a fucking nerve, and it fucking hurts like shit. Looks ingrown. Yeah, it is. It's horrible. It's horrible. So I might take this off at some point because it hurts to even have like the pressure of this sleeve on it. But I figured, you know, to be nice to the chat, to not like you know, assault you with that right away. You you know, that it would be ask Chess to drain it out. She already did. Dude, I let her pop it 3 days ago, which, like, I do not like popping, especially if it's, like, right on a nerve and it really fucking hurts. I don't like touching it, much less popping it. I like to just wait for it to go away on its own, because I'm a pussy. ASMR. So yeah, like, I let her pop it and try to drain it. It didn't go away. A couple days, it started getting worse. So her sister, who's a nurse, gave us this, like, these, like, patches to put on it. And, like, there was a patch on that, and then we took it off last night, and it was, and because that one looked like it was fine, but it still hurts. It still fucking hurts. It's gross. It's gay. It's fucking annoying. I hate it. But as life, yo. As life. You gotta deal with shit. You gotta deal with painful bullshit for no reason. Why? Okay. I look like I have a giant fucking forehead. I hate it. Okay. So, guys, who wants to have a conversation? Who wants to have a chat about a topic that I know triggers a lot of people? Who's interested? Oh, did I? Hang on. I have to make sure I did this first. Of course I didn't. You know what? Yeah, dude, let's have a chit chat. Cause I want to talk about something, yo. I want to talk. Let's see. You know what? I'll post it here too, just because. Everyone's got to know, yeah. We got to spread the white guilt. Got to spread that white guilt, yo. Got to make people feel it. In all seriousness, I would like to talk about white privilege. I said I was going to do this stream at some point. And part of me wanted to wait to, like, gather more of my thoughts on this subject and come up with some more examples, but I honestly feel like if I go down that road, I'm going to just end up never doing it. Because that's most projects that I want to do on this channel. I'm like, okay, I want to do this, but I'm like, oh, but it has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. And then I get into, like, a Galen situation where, you know, he'll like talk about a video forever and he'll be like, oh, but I want it to be perfect. It has to be perfect. And it's like, okay, but Galen, just make the video though. Make the video, put it out, and if you have something more to say, then make a second video. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna talk about what I want to talk about. I want to look at some things, actually some old Underhaven content from about a year ago, and I want to talk about it because I think there's some stuff to talk about. So I guess we'll jump into it. So about a year ago, almost a year ago, I should say, the unending loop of self-critical perfectionism. Yeah, dude, trust me. I get into that all the fucking time. It's why I don't make videos anymore. I can't make videos because if I do that, I'm going to get too, self-critical, self-perfectionist. I'm going to like, I'll never get a project done. So I kind of just have to, like, which is a reason like I don't like to re-record. Like if I'm recording music and I record like a decent track, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do this again. Like I've got it. It's good. If I sit and try to perfect it, I'm gonna perfect it forever. So like it's really like, it makes it hard to like do projects when you're really self-critical, but something I'm working on. Speaking of which, by the way, I did, so I kind of touched on this topic on Friday night during my patron stream, which, so I said I was gonna do. I said I was gonna go over a debate with me and Creamage. I ended up actually not doing that, and I went over a video that I made titled "I'm so ashamed of my generation. No, all of humanity." You know, some fucking cringy edgelord shit like that. And I went over that video, and one of the things I touched upon in that video was white privilege. If you guys didn't see that, go become a patron. It's only $2. It was a really good stream, actually. I think I did a really great job tearing apart that video and my kind of mindset at the time. But I've come a bit of a ways, quite a long ways since then. Basically, to summarize, in that video, I kind of just dismissed white privilege as white guilt. I dismissed it as something that the left uses, or black people or minorities use, in order to gain victim points against white people, and in order to basically just shut up white people, you know, and be like, oh, well, you should feel guilty, and you owe me reparations because of this. Which isn't really what white privilege is all about. And I noticed that I actually carried that kind of viewpoint on white privilege for quite a while. For a while, I was very resistant to the idea of white privilege existing. And I was like, no, this is offensive to white people. That you guys are the racists. And so, yeah, almost a year ago, I guess, there was a bit of a thing that happened on Twitter where Animancer got into an argument with Sarah. What's her name on Twitter? Legend of Phoenix or something? Everyone knows Sarah, Jake's girlfriend. She's really cool, by the way. And I I wish I had been more charitable to her during this exchange, because that's the thing. I was kind of ignorant back then, and I said some ignorant shit. So I want to watch the thing that I said that got Sarah's attention in the first place. And then I'm going to show you my discussion with Sarah, and then we're going to talk about it. The reason people are so resistant to the concept because people were so stupid with it, and it suffered from bad optics. Some people, yeah, there were some people that were dumb with it. There's also just a lot of people that didn't understand it, and I'll be honest, a lot of white people like myself who felt attacked by the very notion of white privilege. As I might bring up in this no, I know I brought it up in my video that I commented on my Patreon stream the other night, which if all goes well, hopefully we'll get Animancer to clip that sometime this month, and that'll be a segment that people who aren't patrons can watch. But for now, if you guys want to watch it, you got to go join the Patreon. Sorry, paywall. Paywall, yo. It's a scam, but you guys love it. But yeah, I kind of allude to the fact that oh, well, you know, these people say they're victims and everyone wants to play the victim card. Well, I know what true victimhood is. I know what it's like to be a victim. And, you know, these people just all think that their victimhood is more important than other people's. And literally, I'm saying it as I'm doing it, the thing that I'm condemning as I'm saying it. And it's really fucking sad. And I wish I was a little more self-aware at the time, I guess. But now I've kind of had a lot of time to think about these things and examine them. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at some things that I said. Okay. Okay. Dope. Oh no. Wait.
No, go ahead.
No, you shouldn't have to bring up someone's identity in order to argue with them. I can't hear it. Hang on. God damn it. Let's wait. Check my audio. Check my oh, it's not even set up. That's why. Bad. Okay. That's better.
Go ahead.
No, you shouldn't have to bring up someone's identity in order to argue with them. Okay, so just for some context real quick. So this whole thing happened because Stephen King tweeted something about how he doesn't think that anyone's identity should necessarily matter when it comes to writing. It should be about the story and the art, and because I guess he was basically in response to like the shit with like the Golden Globes and like black actors and black movies with people of color being kind of snubbed, and people were like, why isn't there more representation? And Stephen King was kind of just like, well, I don't think it matters. I don't think the representation matters. I think it's more about the story and making it good. And I don't completely disagree with that. Still, but the fact is, like, there is a discussion to be had about representation, and there quite frankly isn't a lot of representation. And see, here's the thing. Well, you know what? I'll well, no, I'll just say it, because Sarah at one point, because this we actually, fuck, I can't speak. Yeah, we actually might not get to that, so I'll just say it, because she basically, her original tweet to Annie was that, because he said something about the fact that, like, he doesn't think that matters. He agrees with Stephen King, and Sarah was basically like, that take sounds like it's coming from someone who hasn't had to deal with not seeing themselves represented in media. And Annie kind of got annoyed because he's like, well, I'm white. I'm not white. Sorry. I'm biracial. I'm half black, half white. So that's actually kind of ignorant and presumptuous of you. Which I don't know if that was her intent. I don't think it was. And she did apologize here for misjudging and making assumptions, which is good. But yeah, to go to her point there, she says, but if that's the case, then you should understand even more why diverse representation in media is important. Because she said at one point in our discussion, like, you kind of don't realize that until you're the one in that position. And now I'm sitting here as a trans woman looking around and kind of taken aback by the fact that, yeah, there really isn't like any positive trans representation in mainstream media. It's just not there. Maybe there's some stuff out there that I don't know about, some niche stuff, or maybe there's some, I don't know, I haven't seen anything good that I'm like, oh wow, this is good trans representation. And it kind of makes me realize more. Now, there's definitely more black representation. There is black representation, and there's more of it than trans representation or even gay representation. But there's a lot of minorities that don't get represented. And black, I'll be honest, like, I grew up watching some stuff that I probably thought at the time was black representation that now I look back at and is like, that's actually kind of problematic. That kind of adds to like certain stereotypes. Like gangster shit, like movies and shit that like glorify like gangster culture, or certain types of rap music. It's like, yeah, is this black representation, or is this like contributing to the problem? So again, like, it's something that I've kind of noticed now that I've realized that, yeah, there's not a lot of trans representation, and it sucks, because I wish there was more. I wish there was mainstream trans representation for a number of reasons, not just so that I can see someone who I can identify with more in a show or whatever, but so that it can be more pushed into the mainstream where people can see it and not just like on little ass corners of YouTube like here, or I guess something bigger, like I guess ContraPoints or whatever. But like still, like these are niche communities, you know. Hannah of Hannah and Jake, you know, also another prominent trans YouTuber, but again, kind of small, kind of niche. There's not really mainstream, like, and a lot of the time when you're watching mainstream shit and a trans character comes up, like in Family Guy, oh my god. I've actually been talking with Animancer, and we kind of want to do some Family Guy commentaries of some of the worst episodes. I kind of want to get to that trans one at some point, because that one is pretty fucking bad, like pretty terrible. So is the Trayvon Martin one, by the way, and I just saw that one again recently, and holy fucking shit, was that a bad fucking episode. Like, holy fuck, it mishandled the issue so badly, misrepresented it, and just did a disservice to fucking everything involved. Anyway, I'm getting fucking way off track. But that's another thing, by the way. Family Guy is a show that I'm starting to see the reasons why like Cleveland is kind of a problematic character, because they make fun of black stereotypes, and it would be fine if it was like coming from a black person, but like coming from an all white cast and a voice actor that's white, and probably a lot of white writers. I mean, maybe there's some black people on the writing staff, I don't know, but it doesn't do it justice. But yeah, now they've got a black actor playing him. I'm sure that's, I don't know how much better that makes it, because if they're still making the same kind of jokes as before, it's still not the greatest. This is the problem, guys. Like, there's not a lot of positive representation about a lot of this shit. Damn, they made an episode based on that. Yes. Fuck, what is it called? I'm gonna push Annie to like do a commentary on that either this month or next month, because holy fucking shit. It's season 14, episode 9. It's called A Shot in the Dark. Yeah, it basically just trivializes the whole Trayvon Martin thing. And yeah, I remember it being bad, but like upon rewatching it, like I was like shocked of how like completely tone deaf the episode is. You know, it makes some good points about the inequalities in the justice system, but nothing revolutionary. I mean, they're points that any fucking neo-lib could make. It's nothing groundbreaking. But yeah, it also saves that shit till right at the end too. Like, most of the episode is kind of trivializing the whole thing. The fact that they made Peter the shooter. Yeah, it's when Peter shot Cleveland Jr. They made Peter the shooter, and then they sympathized the idea of an idiot white dude who accidentally shoots a black kid, and then they like spend the whole episode trying to make us feel bad for him. And like, oh, we know you didn't mean it, Peter. We know there's not a racist bone in your body. Okay, fine. But you know what? I do not believe that of Zimmerman, especially based on the people he hangs around with now, and just based on his fucking attitude and behavior at the time. Holy fuck. Then let's see, what else did I write here? Oh, yeah. Then it cops out by letting Peter get away with it, because Cleveland comes and says, actually it wasn't Peter. I shot Cleveland Jr. And then it was like, oh my god, actually no, sorry, he said that, and basically everyone was like, oh, and then they all just disappeared. And then Cleveland makes like a sort of clever joke about how like if you want to get rid of people's interest, all you got to do is mention black on black crime, which, okay, yeah, kind of clever there, but like the fact is, you just fucking lied to a group of people, letting Peter completely off the hook from doing this. I get it. He's kind of Cleveland kind of gives him a speech after that, and like a very half-hearted speech that, again, doesn't seem like it's coming from an actual black person, about like racial injustice and inequality and shit like that. And Peter goes like, yeah, I get it. And then they go back, and the whole thing is undermined by the fact that Cleveland Jr. is then like, I'm coming for you, Peter. That's right. You don't know when, but I'm coming for you. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just an innocent kid. But you don't know. And like, I really don't like that. I really don't like that, because that kind of like really fucking undermines the whole thing. He got away with shooting a black kid, and that is praised. That plot point is praised and not given any like weight. And then it just basically reconfirms your worst stereotype at the end by making you think, oh yeah, the kid probably did deserve it because he's some like dangerous, violent thug who's like willing to threaten someone. And like, oh my God, it was a really bad episode. It was a really bad episode. I really do not like that episode. I cannot believe they did it. It is one of the, like, look, I'm gonna say this right now. Family Guy, look, I don't mind if they want to be woke a little bit. I don't mind if they want to like address certain like topics that are being talked about, but they are not equipped. They are not a show that is equipped. If they were gonna do that, like, don't make it characters we know. If you want to talk about the George Zimmerman thing and talk about the nuances of it, then do that. Making it Peter, a character that, yeah, we're not going to believe that he's racist because he's clearly not racist, at least not overtly. Peter clearly has, you know, he likes Cleveland and Jerome and, you know, whatever other black characters. He's never exhibited any outright racism, not as much as Brian has, ironically enough, the fucking lib on the show. Holy shit. I'm sorry. I could critique Family Guy forever, and I know Animancer could too, which is why we kind of want to do some commentaries on that. Holy shit. What up, Rose Black? Back when I was helping co-write my friend's stories, we got in a heated debate. He wanted more representation, and I argued that mindset might take away from the more important aspects of storytelling. Well, look, that's the thing. If you're going to put black characters in or other whatever minority characters, make sure it's for a good reason. Make sure it actually fucking works. Don't just fucking put it there just for the sake of it being there. You have to, like, it has to feel organic. And I'll be honest, and I make the point here, and we're about to watch this video. I make the point here, and I still kind of agree with this. Do you really want the fucking there to be like black characters written that aren't coming from the perspective of black people, that is just like cynical attempts to like, oh, look at this features a black person, but then it's like Family Guy, I'm sorry, like Cleveland is not a positive character. I'm sorry. He perpetuates a lot of dumb tropes and a lot of dumb shit. And it's not helped by the fact that those jokes and that stuff isn't coming from the perspective of a black first person making fun of themselves. It's coming from the perspective of a bunch of white people making fun of black people, which I'm not saying shouldn't be allowed, but it is kind of punching down. Remember when Seth made an episode on Family Guy where Brian was oppressed because he was a dog and it was some kind of civil rights connection? Yeah, I remember that. But no, Brian is pretty fucking racist. Okay, like we can all agree that Brian is racist. And he tries to overcompensate by acting super not racist when if he just calmed the fuck down and admitted his fucking biases, he'd be more honest at least. Anyway, yeah, let's watch this clip. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. I love you guys.
Women should stand on their own. I agree.
Yeah, that's such fallacious reasoning. Like, your argument shouldn't change depending on who you're talking to. It should be the same argument no matter what. I still agree with that. And I think she agreed with it as well. I think Sarah agreed by the end of it. They got, okay, yeah, she shouldn't have assumed that Annie wasn't that Annie was just white.
That's the attack a lot of people had against Stephen King. They're like, okay, well, you're a privileged white man, so what do you know?
That's bullshit, dude. I'm sorry. A privileged white man can still come. Like, as long as it's the correct opinion, it doesn't matter who's coming to it.
Dude, somehow, what we're saying right now is racist to some people. Like, I'm not gonna say everyone would simplify it to that, but to some people, what we're saying right now is somehow fucking racist, and that's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
So what we just said was not racist. No. Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of person it is. Treat the person based on their opinion, not the color of their skin. Yeah, no, I agree with that stuff. But we're kind of gonna take gonna take it deeper into a bit of a weird rabbit hole. What's all this shit with Jasper? So many gay stereotypes. That was universally despised. Oh yeah, that was kind of really bad. Most of the humor in Family Guy revolves around cruelty. Look how Meg is treated on the show. It's supposed to be fucked up. Yeah, it is really fucked up. Brian isn't a dog. He's a lib caricature. Just like how Stewie's not a baby. He's a gay stereotype. Yeah. No, that show is full of just a lot of weird humor. Weird shit. Weird champ, yo. They're weird champing over there. No, we should totally judge people based on the color of their skin.
Oh, yeah.
I was kind of straw manning at this point, like just to be clear. Like, only identify with characters in media that have the same skin color as us. Get the fuck out of here. That's racism, dude. Yeah. I'm sorry. So I start saying that, like, oh, you guys, you minorities out there who can't identify with white characters because they're white, you're the racists. No. Look, okay, empathy is an important trait, but I'm already well aware that not everybody has the same level of empathy that I do, and that's not meant to be like a humble brag or anything. I'm well aware, like I have empathy that I've actually tried to turn off for a long time in my life. I tried to just not show empathy because I thought it was a curse, and I've realized that it's not a curse. It's a fucking blessing, if anything, being able to empathize with all types of people. And I do believe it's a skill that anyone can learn, and everyone should, I think everyone should be taught empathy, and it should be something that, we lean into instead of run away from. But I'm also aware of the fact that not everybody is capable of that same level of empathy, or even is able to afford that level of empathy from their perspective, based on what they've gone through or are currently dealing with in their own life. And so with that in mind, just expecting minorities going through like some bullshit, they're oppressed or they're dealing with like whatever, like just expecting them to like, oh, just learn to empathize with white characters. If you can't, then you're racist. Yeah, that's kind of really uncharitable. And I can see why Sarah kind of took issue with this clip. And yes, American Dad is a much better show and much funnier. Yeah, that is true. And yeah, and it has tackled some serious issues and done it really fucking well. Yeah. I think Family Guy is just the more popular one because it came first and more people know about it, but Yeah, it's not good. It's not good, yo. It got a lot of problems.
You as a black person can't look at a white character and identify with them, then you're racist. Because you know what? I identify with plenty of black characters, plenty of Asian characters, plenty of female characters. I identify with a whole bunch of characters that I share.
I wonder why I identify with so many female characters. But no, and I do still identify with certain black characters as well. But if I'm being honest, the reason why, like, for example, I think I brought up at some point, like, a show that I enjoyed growing up was Everybody Hates Chris. And I really identified with Chris in that show. And yeah, that's the show that's based off of Chris Rock's life. Now, why did I identify with that character? Was it because he was black? Well, no. I identified with that character because he came from a poor family, didn't live in the greatest neighborhood, didn't have a lot of friends, had a kind of abusive family life, a kind of fucked up family life a little bit, and it was at least borderline abusive, not as bad as some or even as mine, but like, it could have been worse. I don't even know. Like, for all we know, they just didn't show anything that was like, I don't know. I don't know that much about Chris Rock's life outside of the show. But, there was some shit that he dealt with. He felt kind of marginalized. He felt kind of outcast, I identified with all of that stuff. And, it was because I can identify with those character traits and those feelings. And so, that just because a character doesn't look like us doesn't mean we can't empathize with that. I still agree with that, but for some people, it's not just about looking like you. It's about your lived experiences, and which is why, by the way, I still think that I feel like just making characters black for the sake of being black isn't always the best, because if that black character doesn't feel like they've had the lived experience of being a black person, then they kind of just feel like a token. They kind of feel like they're just there to be there. And I'm not even saying that's the worst thing in the world either, because that can have a positive effect. There being more prominent depictions of minorities will lead to people being like, oh, like, why are all these depictions of minorities lame? I'm gonna make some good ones, So yeah, I'm not even against that. There are some issues because of the stacked deck that society causes, are more common with some groups than others. They're not always exclusive to said groups. People are people, and empathy is important. Yes, very true. Brit J is eerie to listen to. I kind of feel like I've gone back in time. Yeah, dude. Oh, it's eerie for me to listen to as well, but trust me, I cringe every time I hear the accent. Oops. I don't know. Where did it go away?
And no character traits with. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're the racists.
Back when I was a kid.
See, again, I was viewing everything through a lens of race, which maybe is a little bit racist, or borderline. Yeah, because I was the one viewing it as race. Because you heard what I just said at the end there. I said, I identify with characters that share no character traits with me. Well, no, that's not really true, though, is it? The reason, and that's the reason that's not true is because I'm saying character traits, but what I mean is physical aspects, like who look like me, because that's what we're talking about here. But what is a character trait? That's way deeper than skin color. Yeah, a lot of the black characters that I identify with, a lot of the whatever, there's male characters I still identify with. There's all kinds of characters, and it's because I share character traits with those people. I can empathize with those people. And I think there's something fundamental that we all share as humans, like who have experiences and feel emotions. And so even on that level, we have reasons to empathize with each other. And so I've But no, like I don't think it's true, because there are plenty of characters out there that I don't like, that I'm like, oh my god, fuck that character. This character is dumb. I can't identify with that character in the slightest, and I don't want to, because they seem like a piece of shit, you know? And when it comes to characters like that, like, I don't identify with them because they don't share any character traits with me. So that was a lie, and it was like a completely like misframed like statement to make, because yeah, I'm clearly viewing things through a lens of race, when it's like, if I'm more honest with why I identify with those other groups that I listed, it's because of the shared experiences that I can identify with in those people.
Kid, one of my favorite fucking animated shows was Static Shock, and I never thought anything of the character being black. I was like, okay, it's a fucking show. It's just, that's kind of how I was raised too. Just not give a shit about anyone's skin color and judge people personally. So. Yeah.
I grew up watching so many like shows that starred black characters. Like that was mostly what I watched. In fact, that was what I seemed to like identify with the most. Like shows like Everybody Hates Chris. You know, kids growing up in the ghetto. You know, growing up poor and shit. I actually identified with shit like.
Yeah. See, I just said, like, you know, growing up poor and shit, and I didn't necessarily live in a ghetto. But like, yeah, like I could identify with certain aspects of it, and it's like, again, like, nothing about that has to do with the skin color, though. And yeah, there's some people who are black who want to see characters that they can identify with, who have gone through the same kind of racist shit that they've gone through, or whatever their lived experience is. Just like I would like to see more representation of trans characters in a positive light, seeing people go through a lived experience similar to my own. And again, not just so that I identify with the show Dexter, don't ask why. I did too, honestly, because I felt very, again, outcast from society. It was at a time in my life, especially where I was like very emotionless, and I just kind of like kept myself at a distance from people. I was a total loner, and I fantasized about killing people, I'll be honest. I was an edgelord little fucking teen, and I thought, like, fuck yeah, Dexter. I want to be a serial killer just like Dexter. Cringe, I know. I feel like I've got a bird's eye view as a white Latino. I'm biracial like Annie, and it's been interesting to see the change in cops' expressions when they read the name on my ID. Yeah. I meant Dexter's Lab. Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, Dexter's Lab, dude. Yeah, that show. Oh. Yeah, that's what I meant too, obviously.
Like that. And I'm white. So who are you to say who has privilege because of the color of their skin? I grew up poor. I grew up fucking disadvantaged. So like what? Oh, but I'm white. I'm white, so I have extra privilege.
So this shows a fundamental misunderstanding of white privilege. And again, I still held on to it after all these years, like the fucking like, how dare you say that that I have privilege? I don't have privilege. I'm a victim, right? And I still probably at the time was like condemning the far left for their victim culture. So I was still doing it. I'm not proud, but yeah. Yeah, don't tell me I have privilege. I'm actually a victim. You lefty fuckers and your victim cult. Fuck you. You guys aren't victims. I'm the real victim. Yeah, honestly, that's a trick that they use, okay? That's a trick that the alt-right grifty kind of crowd, you know, the anti-SJW skeptic crowd, the fake centristy crowd, you know the people. That's the kind of trick that they use to get white people that are disadvantaged in one way or another really fucking offended at the idea that, like, they're telling you you have privilege. They're telling you that you have some special position in society that's above everyone else. Doesn't that offend you? Look at you and your fucking your fucking minimum wage job and your fucking shitty house and your fucking terrible mortgage that you're going to spend the next 20 years of your life trying to pay off, and your fucking, you know, all this shit you're dealing with. These motherfuckers over here trying to tell you you have privilege. They're trying to tell you that you should feel bad for your whiteness. That's how I saw it. And no one was saying that to me. No one was saying that to me. Like, I was making it up in my head, but we all were. A lot of people were. A lot of fucking anti-SJW types were like, they're trying to make us feel bad for being white. Guys, for white guilt. It's not fair. I will not be ashamed of being white. The fact is, we can acknowledge the fact that being white has its advantages. No one's saying it gives you all the advantages or even a lot of them. There's just an advantage. And moreover, there is a disadvantage for being black or Latina or whatever. Or Latino, whatever the fucking... They keep changing it, guys. It was a Hispanic, and then it's Latino, Latina, then they start saying Latinx. I don't know, guys. I don't keep up. I guess I'm not that woke. I'm sorry. Mexicans. They all look like Mexicans to me. Yeah. Hey, at least I don't do that, okay? You guys can give me credit for that, at least. I don't prefer Latinx. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't. I'll just say Latino, because that's what you said. Or that's what someone said. Latino. It sounds like it does. Latinx. Take Latinx. Ask your doctor about Latinx. See if Latinx is right for you. Latinx may cause diarrhea, heartburn, and periodic bleeding from the eyes. If you experience any or all of these symptoms, please consult your doctor and stop taking right away. Latinx may kill you. Yeah, dude. Now that's Latin testosterone. What? Latin testosterone? Latin testosterone, dude. It's yeah, that Latinx. It's wait. No, dude, it would be like I don't know. The GTA 4 energy drink commercials. Yeah, dude. I don't play that much GTA, so I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't a fucking rock star. A rock star simp like Swagta. I thought the gender neutral way to refer to Latin people was to call them Latin. I guess maybe. Anyway,
The fuck out of here.
get the fuck out of here, yeah.
You know, I'll just say this, like, Sarah, unlike you, I don't dismiss people based on what they look like.
Nope.
Just put it that way.
Yep.
So let's move on.
There you go.
Okay, so that was that. I really do think we were really uncharitable with Sarah, in a lot of ways. But okay, so she actually came on the very next episode. So let's take a look at that, yo. Let's take a look at my conversation with Sarah.
But
about,
I see what she's coming.
Nope. Pause. About white privilege. Let's see.
Sarah mentioned something.
Was it Jay that the clip was?
Yeah, Jay.
Talking about privilege not existing?
What did I
Fucking
say that you
Jay.
took issue with?
You said specifically that white privilege doesn't exist. The only privilege that exists is monetary-based privilege.
Oh no, class reductionism. I was a class reductionist. I was a class reductionist, Joe. God damn. How far I've come. Shame. Shame, Demon Jay. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, true, in my opinion. I mean,
Which...
look. Okay, I know the argument. You want to say like, oh, because like,
Watch the cognitive dissonance here.
there's a lot of like rich white people, and you know, most billionaires are white, most CEOs are white.
Oh, no, that was just a straw man. The cognitive dissonance comes later.
Well,
Therefore, white people have privilege. I don't have any of that
No,
privilege.
that's
I'm not rich.
No. Hey, Jay, that's not how white privilege works.
I don't want to straw man you, so go ahead and explain.
I don't want to straw man you right after I just did. Okay, real professional, Jay. Real fucking professional.
That's not how it works at all. So, privilege as a
Okay, explain.
concept, something like white privilege, doesn't mean that all white people have never struggled. Because I'm white, I have had struggles, I've had hardships, I've been poor, I've been on food stamps, I lived in a house where the roof was leaking and I had to put pots and pans down, couldn't afford anything paycheck to paycheck. I'm not saying when I have white privilege that I am better off than everyone else by default.
Yes, you are.
Like, because I am white. The purpose of privilege, of any kind of privilege, is that, so say I'm a poor white person, I'm
not listening to her at all right now, by the way. Everything she was saying, I mean, I was kind of listening, but for the most part, it was just in one ear, out the other. It was just like, you're not saying that we're not privileged. You're just saying we have privilege. Like, okay.
going to have it marginally better than a black person who is in the same exact monetary category as me. Like, if we have equal struggles and everything else, I at least don't have to worry about the fact that I'm probably not going to get profiled by the police, specifically because I'm a white woman. And that's one thing that I guess you could say women have more privilege.
White female privilege, yo. Damn right. Damn right. Oh, wait. My white female privilege is offset by my trans non-privilege, so... Yeah, okay. I Damn it. When do I get my woman card, yo? When do I get my stop harassing me cops, yo? Hey, maybe cops wouldn't harass me just because it's like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to be accused of like harassing a trans person for being trans. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
Which I'm not considered a danger. Men, like say a black man, would have much more of...
I love you, Rose Black. I too am class I love you. You're amazing, Rose Black. I too am class reductionist. Fuck half the classes taught in school. The information will most likely never be utilized outside school, not including lunch. School should be 3 hours tops. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I agree completely. That is a very based class reductionist take, which those are rare. So good job. You've attained a rare honor, I guess.
Of a chance of being profiled by the police as like dangerous, or discriminated against in that way, or that's not something that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. It's not saying that white people can't have struggles or can't understand struggle.
I mean, okay, I'll first of all say that I actually have been harassed by police before multiple times, and maybe it is because I'm a man.
Hey, don't gotta deal with that no more, right?
But
let's hope.
The other thing is,
I just gotta stay out of Louisiana.
I mean, look, like, yes, it's I will admit, like, it's
and Texas and the rest of the South.
It's harder for black people in some ways because, yeah, they do get targeted more by the police. But how is that on me as a white person?
See, here's the cognitive dissonance. I'm aware of the fact that there are disadvantages to being black, but I refuse to view that as white privilege. I think the reason is because, and here's where I think the disconnect was. I did not understand how a negative on the part of black people equates to a positive on the part of white people. I was basically like, well, that doesn't make any sense. You're saying that because there are disadvantages to being black, that there are inherently advantages to being white. And that's not what's being said, because the advantages to being white are the lack of disadvantages that there are to being black. That's what the advantage is. That we don't have to have the disadvantage of being black or being Latino or being a gay, trans, Latino, disabled black person, right? Or a biracial black, half Latino person. Yeah, the ultimate minority. Okay? Like, or being Native American. There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of disadvantages to being all of these other races or part of other certain groups, but those disadvantages don't really exist for white people, at least not in any substantive way. So, hence, white privilege. But I do think that's where a lot of people have a disconnect, because because that is how a lot of people's brains view it, is like, you're saying that a negative that black people experience equates to a positive that white people experience, and that's not true, because I've been disadvantaged, I've gone through hardships, I've had, shit happen to me, I've done whatever, I've been oppressed or discriminated against or what the fuck ever, and yeah, it makes it really fucking hard to, like, see that we're on the same side here. Like, really, if I'd have, like, been way more charitable with her, I would have realized we're on the same fucking side and we actually agree on a lot more than we disagree on. But I was so resistant to admitting that white privilege was a thing, because I thought that was an attack on my whiteness. That was an attack on my ability to ever be empathized with or sympathized with on the basis of disadvantages that I have had, right? Because I think in the mind of a lot of people, if you admit to white privilege, then you're automatically saying that any disadvantages you've had in life, any negative experiences, it doesn't matter because I was still white. I'm still white, guys. Doesn't matter that I had no education and my parents beat me and fucking did a bunch of horrible abusive shit, and that I fucking have like mental trauma and PTSD and fucking depression and shit. That doesn't matter, guys, because I'm white. So everything's fine. And I can understand why a lot of people are really resistant to that, because everything's not fine just because you're white. That doesn't mean shit. Except in the areas where it does. Except in the areas where if you're white, now I'm not one of these people because my parents are deadbeats, but if you're white, you're more likely to have parents who can afford to send you to college, or you're more likely to inherit a house or property or something at some point in your life. A lot of black people, they've had to live in fucking ghettos where all they did was rent shitty fucking properties in shitty communities. And even if they do own the shit, like, if their fucking kids inherit that, it's not worth much. Like, and again, like I viewed it because I'm not one of those people though. I'm not gonna inherit shit from my parents because my parents are poor and they'll always be poor. So yeah, I'm just as bad off as a black person in that area, right? Because if there's a black person who's poor who also isn't gonna inherit shit, then hey, I'm as bad off as they are. Yeah, except for the fact that black person now, not only when their parents die, they don't fucking inherit shit, they also have to worry about getting stopped by the cops more. They have to worry about finding a place to live, maybe, if they still live with their parents, because a lot of people in our generation have to live with their parents at least at some point in their adult lives. If you're black living in a community where your family's just been renting the entire time, you're not fucking gonna inherit shit, and you're not gonna have a place to fall back on if you end up homeless or some shit. A lot of white people, again, not all, don't have that problem. And again, there's the systemic issues, there's the redlining and all of that. That's had a major effect, and that's pretty much what I'm talking about here. And then there's like the cops and the justice system and all of it. Like, there's a lot to consider. And I'm just sitting here being like super resistant, not listening, and just being like, but you're telling me to have white guilt, No one told you to have white guilt. I'm one hell of a combo that is despised where I live. Disabled, pan, poly, pagan, Cherokee, Latino mix in the South. Damn. Yeah, that is quite a mix you got there. But yeah, dude, and that's another thing. I think a lot of people also get it confused when you start talking about, oh well, I am like a trans disabled lesbian. Then they're like, oh, now you're just playing the victim game. Now you want your victim points, right? Oh, let's all feel bad for this. That again comes from a very uncharitable place, and I really do think a place of projection, because again, I came from a very childish mindset. I grew up thinking that I was the only person that was abused, and part of me really did want people to feel bad about that because I didn't really know how to deal with it. And I hated the fact that a lot of people would just look at me and treat me like shit, or just assume that I'd be okay, or just assume that I was okay when I wasn't a lot of the time. And so it wasn't necessarily about just wanting sympathy. It was about wanting to be heard and wanting people to know that I'm not okay, and that this shit that I've gone through in my life has fucking affected me over the years. But that's my own fucking thing. And like, the fact is, you don't need to, because I would just sit there and be like, oh, well, my victim status as a white person is being threatened, so I'm going to project my fucking need for a victimhood onto fucking other groups of people that I have no idea what their fucking motives are. But I shouldn't be fucking assuming people's motives. It's not charitable. It's not a way to have decent discourse. Doesn't help you. But and it's also like one of the reasons why like this SJWs are victims narrative comes from.
It's not on you. No one's blaming you.
The white guilt thing seems to be
that's not what you should be
big
taking
thing for a
from
lot of
privilege.
people.
Oh yeah, the white guilt. See, that was where my mind was at, because it's like, oh, you want me to be guilty for being white. And again, yeah, I'm kind of just like not internalizing a word that she's saying, unfortunately.
No, that's not what you should be taking from the concept of things like privilege. Like, no one's saying that it's necessarily your fault or that you've done anything to make it worse. The point is acknowledging that that is something you may not have to deal with, and then listening to other people, like people of color who deal with that, and then saying, oh, well, maybe this is an issue we should worry about, like things like police reform or criminal justice reform, because we see those things where like Black Americans are targeted more, they are more likely to be incarcerated for lesser offenses. Even though like Black and white people use drugs at the same rate, Black people are more likely to be charged for using drugs, shit like that. Like as
They
long
also
as
tend
you
to get like higher prison sentences compared to white people in general.
yeah, and it's the same thing.
Guys-
Men tend to get longer prison sentences than women do for committing the same
That's true.
crimes.
That's true.
So
recognize all of that. The only thing is, I mean, like yes,
I recognize all of that, but let me just dismiss it here and continue to strawman your arguments.
for most Black people, they have to worry about those extra things. But that doesn't mean that a Black person, like a poor Black person, is inherently less privileged than a poor white person. There could be something in that white person's life that you don't even know about that makes
well,
them
yeah.
a million times less privileged. I'm just
So-
saying, like, it's not always on racial lines.
Well, no, it's not. And that's what intersectionality is about. Intersectionality talks about every single factor in a person's life. So your gender, your sexuality, your gender presentation, your race, everything. All of those things are like spectrums that of societal.
And when she said that, by the way, all I heard was identity politics, more and more identity politics. Because obviously that's the only thing anyone means when they talk about intersectionality.
Pressure
that,
or
though.
anything that you have to deal with that can affect the way that your life comes out. You can, as a white person, experience a much worse life than a individual Black person. But when it comes to the concept of privilege, it's not about individuals. It's usually about systemic issues. So like in general, systemically, LGBT people have a lot more problems to deal with than say a straight person. Like literally discrimination. What was
True.
it, 2016 when we finally legalized gay marriage? And
Yeah,
that wasn't a thing that straight people had to deal with
And,
for generations before, So it's not always about race. No, privilege comes in all sorts of forms.
Sure. Well, I'm LGBT as well. Okay, I'm bi, and I'm also I don't
too.
see. Here's the thing.
Hey,
Here's the thing.
poor
'cause-
I'm bi, so I have a victim card too. See, I'm one of you. Yeah, see, I'm not just white. I'm bi. I love how I'm saying I'm against this sort of thing, but I'm playing the game anyway. Kind of reveals my kind of a little transparent there.
The gayest podcast.
This is the
ever.
biased podcast I've ever done.
Hell yeah, dude.
Here's the thing, though, because I go a step further, because not only do I not like I don't personally believe in gender identity, and if I took it a step further, I could say like, yes, I am non-binary, but I don't.
Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna be really clear here. I had some bad takes on gender identity. Okay, because I had a really arrogant take. Okay. And I used to say, and yeah, you guys can see here that didn't age well. Because you can kind of see here, I used to say shit like, oh, well, I'm comfortable enough in my gender identity to not need to be NB or trans.
I don't feel the need to attach that label to myself, because I'm honestly, like, personally, I'm okay with who I am as a person, and if other people have a problem with that, like, that's on them. So, like, I don't see the need to go around and be like, hey, everybody, I'm fucking non-binary, I'm a bisexual, non-binary male.
Then why did you just
or
introduce yourself
not.
as
So, yeah. Again, I had a very arrogant viewpoint. The way I saw it, people who are NB or trans or whatever just aren't comfortable enough to just be who they are and not care what anyone else thinks. Because everybody in society should be like this strong fucking like unaffected by anyone else's opinion type person where it's just like, yep, nothing, fucking your words fucking fly off of me like fucking water off a duck's back. It's nothing, yo. It's nothing. I don't care. I'm gonna go through life strutting my stuff. I don't care what no one thinks. Extremely uncharitable and extremely arrogant and ignorant, because again, I've never been that person. I did put forth that front at the time. I'd be like, people can say whatever they want about me. I don't care. I did care. I did care. There were times when people would be like, oh my God, shitty stream. You should just quit. What are you even doing? You're embarrassing yourself. And I'd like stay up at night thinking of those things and being like, oh my God, people think I'm terrible, you know? And then it's like, oh, you just shouldn't care what anyone else thinks. Like, okay. But yeah, I figured, yeah, I'm just comfortable enough to not care what anyone else thinks. That's why I'm just being myself, guys. I'm comfortable enough to be myself and not care what anyone else thinks. Holy fucking shit. Did that age badly? Yeah, no. I wasn't that was like a flat out lie. It was just a flat out lie. Now, it was a deep-seated lie that like I had spent years and years and years convincing myself of. But it was a lie. It was not true. And it was kind of a defense mechanism that I would use at the time, just be like, oh, well, because it was honestly, it was my rationalization for how I justified the fact that I did identify a lot with trans people that I was hearing speak around the time. And I was like, yeah, that actually, I get that. And I get where you're coming from. And actually, I feel the same way in some areas, but I'm not trans. You know, I was desperate to like not admit that I was trans, not even to myself. So yeah, this is just a really dumb take. I'm comfortable enough in my gender expression to not need to. Okay. Clearly I wasn't. If I could go deeper into my psychology there, I would. But really, honestly, well, to be perfectly honest, too, and this is again something I'm kind of ashamed of. I viewed myself as kind of superior to trans people because I viewed people that needed to fucking transition openly and needed to like be referred to as the gender they'd prefer. I viewed them as weak people who, you know, just couldn't handle being who they are without affixing a label to themselves and going all in a certain in a certain lifestyle. And yeah, it was really, really dumb. Clearly I realized that no, I was actually being weak then and like lying to myself and hiding shit from myself. And when I actually started to come forward and be honest with myself and come out and admit who I was, that was when I started being strong. Yeah, it's important to learn from these things and grow from these things, but there's a reason why I like to go back and pick these things apart, because I do think that it is important to examine the mindset of people who think this way. I think it can be extremely valuable in arguing with people who are still stuck in these mindsets. Where are they coming from? What are they thinking? And you know, the fact that and look, I'm well aware I do not have the same mindset as everyone else out there, and there's definitely other people who come to the same conclusions but for different reasons and have different motives and different, you know, but I still feel like it's applicable in examining you know, this type of people overall, and helping people maybe who are still in that place to kind of see, you know, what the line of reasoning is and how to, you know, demystify it a little bit. You know, there's a lot of people that we argue with online that we can't see into their heads, you know. The upside to having been part of certain ideologies that I don't agree with anymore is that I can peer into my own head and be like, okay, I know what I was thinking when I said this, so, you know, that can provide some context for what I'm actually saying. Anyway, let's Let's watch a little bit more of this and then we'll move on.
That's bisexual to me just now. Why did you say that you were LGBT?
But it's, I mean, I admit that I fit into those categories, but I don't like to wear the label as if it means something more.
Even though she does have a point. I brought it up. I made a point about, oh, well, I'm LGBT. I'm actually bi. It's like, yeah, well, why do I care? If I didn't care, I wouldn't have said that. I would have just like gone on like, which by the way, I'm not bi. I am a lesbian. And I've explained before why I held on to the bi label as long as I did. It was basically because I knew on some level that I was LGBTQ. I knew I was queer. I knew I was different. I knew I was not, you know, a cis het white male, you know. But I didn't want to like take it to the logical conclusion of the place I knew where I belonged, which was the T. Because I was like, oh, you can't admit your T. That's the worst one. That's the one that gets the most flack. That's the one that like, yeah, no. Which one gets the least amount of flack? Ooh, B. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a B. Yeah, there we go. I'm bi. That way I can still date girls, but still call myself gay. Because I mean, I guess I knew on some level that I was gay, but I thought I was bi too. That being said, like there are some attractive guys out there, and I'm just not too interested in guys. But yeah, clearly it's a label that I valued on some level.
More about myself than what it is. I like I'm sexually attracted to men and women, you know, but that doesn't.
Lies. Okay, I like dicks, but girls can have dicks, so fuck you.
Tell you anything about me other than the fact that I'm sexually attracted to men and women. You know,
yeah, nobody else is using it.
I'm not attracted to masculine people. That's what it is. I'm not attracted to masculinity. Like, at all.
To say it means anything more about you than that.
People try to infer too much when you give them a label like that. Like if you say, oh, I'm this or I'm that, then people will try and like infer all these different things about you that don't apply to you just because they've had experiences in the past with someone who might be this way. You know what I mean? That's the problem I have with labels too. That's why I don't use many labels. Like, yeah, sure, am I biologically a man? Yes, but I don't go around like calling myself one because
no, but society still.
I love how Annie I love how Annie's also come over on that as well lately. So yeah, dude. I can't speak for him, but I was definitely in denial about a lot of things really here. You know, a denial about a lot really. Like that's honestly what I feel like being an anti-SJW is. It's not inherently malicious, but it does involve a heavy level of denial and self-victimhood too. Question: a Chad you've never met walks past and slaps you on the ass. How do you respond? Probably curse him out depending on my mood. Or just be like, excuse me. But other than that, like, I'm not like, if I'm like in a really bad mood, I'm like, what the fuck was that, yo? Like, you say I'm fucking walking here? You gotta fucking respect my personal space? You just walk around slapping random women's asses? Like, is that okay? Like, are you fucking serious? Like, fuck you. But if I'm in a more like passive mood, or if I'm in a more like heightened anxiety mood where I don't really want to talk to people, I'll just probably like, excuse me? And I'll just like walk away. Because I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to avoid this conflict right now because I don't like conflict. Fuck your conflict. I'm not a conflict-driven person, which is, I know, extremely antithetical to the way I used to present myself. Again, I was in denial of a lot of shit, okay? A lot of shit.
Deems you that and will judge you as that, no matter if you call yourself that or not. What? Like, if I was open and in a relationship with a woman right now, society would still judge me on that, whether I identified with it or not. That's what it's about. It's about society and how they view you, and not saying that, well, this is like tells
I don't-
everything about me.
I don't care how society views me, and I personally, I don't care to be accepted by society or viewed as normal. Like, if society wants to view me as some kind of deviant or some kind of weirdo, like, good. I don't want to be fucking viewed as normal in this fucked up society. That's all.
Wow, what a little edgelord, dude. Holy fuck. I don't even want to be viewed as normal. I want to be an outcast. Oh my god. Not even true, because, look, even at this time in my life, if I could have just been accepted for who I was by society and everyone, and if there was a button I could have pressed, I would have pressed that button, okay? And still to this day, like, even to a greater extent now, and, because, yeah, that was the thing. Why do you think I was hiding so much about myself? Because I didn't want to admit who I was. I didn't want to be judged by society for who I felt like I was. So, total fucking, like, cognitive dissonance there. I was really, like, again, just deep denial. Deep fucking denial, guys.
Honestly, like, I don't understand the need to be like,
Because that actually does
You
have
know, like-
impacts on mental health.
It does. It does. That's another thing that I've noticed more since coming out as trans. Yeah, people being like, because again, the fact that society views you as subhuman means that it's okay to make you a target. And there are a lot of people who view trans people as inherently malicious, as inherently something bad, you know? And so for them, trannies are just, you know, fair game. You know, we can shit on them all they want. You're a man. You're a man in drag. Go back to... Go be a gay man in drag. And stop preying on women. There's a lot of mean people, and as much as I try to, like, not let it bother me, I'll be honest, yo, I've had some days where it bothers me a little bit. It bothers me when people are, like, transphobic, and I'm like, why do people have to be so mean? It's really fucking mean, but then it's like, I shouldn't be surprised. That's the world we live in. But it kind of takes, like, you actually being at the other end of that sometimes to actually understand how it feels.
I mean,
Like, so we see over time, like, how people are treated and ostracized leads to things like higher suicide rates, higher depression rates. Like, you can say, I don't care, but on average, people do care. People actually do care about feeling like they're comfortable and safe
Yep. And I did too. I just didn't admit it.
and accepted in society. And that's just the fact that you're going to have to deal with. And
And that's the thing, like, feeling comfortable and safe and accepted is something I've always struggled with and something I've always wanted. And it really is disingenuous for me to say here, like, oh, I don't care about that. I don't care if I'm accepted or safe or whatever. I don't care. I don't care about any of that thing. People can think whatever they want about me. Yeah, okay. Yeah, what a big tough man you are. You fucking liar.
people find that important. It may not be compelling to you, but to a lot of people, it is very important to them.
Well, no, that's fair enough. I mean, I don't even mind that it's important to those people. I have a problem where people try and start, like, pushing their
This is where I start moving the goalpost.
ideology onto others. Like, it's like you have to go back to the Stephen King thing for a second. Like, if Stephen King himself doesn't believe that that privilege or diversity or whatever is important, then why are other people trying to pressure him into holding those same beliefs? You know, if someone
Is it
personally...
pressure or is it people just disagreeing?
I would definitely say it is peer pressure, considering the fact that he felt the need to come out and say it was that he doesn't believe it anymore. Do you really think that he?
Now, I'm again, I can't speak for Annie, but I know what I'm doing here. I'm deflecting, moving goalposts, trying to because I'm attached to the idea that no, my original take here is good, and fuck you for disagree. You're wrong. I'm right. You know, and like, no, this is an agenda that's being pushed by a certain ideology. They're trying to control people's free speech. I clearly had an agenda I wanted to come away from this conversation with, and she did a decent job at pushing back, but she did a really good job. But I don't think any of us were really in that place to like hear a lot of what she was saying. But, and again, I can't speak for Annie and Swag, but for me personally, this is actually a conversation that I reflected on quite a bit, and I've actually gone back and listened to this like 3 or 4 times in the last year. The first time I listened to it was right after it aired, and I remember listening to it and be like, oh, fuck her, and I'm like, oh, I should have said this, and oh, I should have said this, oh, I could have fucking nailed her to the wall if I said this. Which I'm probably total fucking bullshit and bluster from me. But the other thing was basically the next time I listened to it was to kind of be like, you know what? Okay, she had some points. She actually had some points, and I wish I had given her more credit at the time. And that was a few months ago, and now I'm listening to it again and just being like, yeah, I was really disingenuous throughout this whole thing, and I'm kind of ashamed of it. I wish I was more charitable. I wish I listened more. I wish I gave her the benefit of the doubt more and didn't just get angry and reactionary. Because I feel like, you know, again, I'm not speaking for Annie and Swag, but I feel like we were all being a little reactionary here. We all care to an extent what others think about us. Oh, absolutely. Even in fact, I'll argue that the people that say, and again, I'm not just saying this from experience, but kind of, I'd argue that the people that say, the people that are the most adamant that they don't care what other people think care the most. Which is why they've had to go to the most work to convince themselves that they don't care. Which is why they have to let everyone know constantly that they don't care. Because otherwise people might think they care, and we can't have that. Yeah, like, you clearly care if people think whether or not you care. So you care on that level.
Genuinely changed his mind, or you think he's just saying that because he got enough hate on
I have
Twitter?
no idea because I don't know him as a person, but if he received that and he reflected and he realized that what he said meant either was coming off as he meant something that he didn't mean to, or he genuinely changed his perspective. Like, I don't know the guy, none of us do. We're not going to know if he genuinely changed his mind, but so
no, he only changed his perspective because he was harassed by a Twitter mob. Yeah, we were kind of taking the most uncharitable interpretation possible, which, again, I no longer agree with. Because yeah, maybe he did. Maybe he heard some arguments. Maybe he was like, "Yeah, okay, I didn't realize that perspective." Because a lot of the time, I've seen a lot of people that say something controversial and then they actually get into a debate in their fucking comment section, and then they come to a different position. And, you know, that can be a sign of personal growth. I don't know. All I know is he deleted his comment, so he no longer stands by it, at least. But our culture pushes educating others over self-improvement. Yeah, kind of. Humans are social creatures. Even the biggest loners and most introverted people need acceptance. Otherwise, mental health issues happen or become exacerbated. Yes, which is why I am trying to not feed into certain habits anymore that all they did was, further exacerbate my mental illness issues. You know, being like, yeah, I'm going to be a loner and just not talk to anybody. And I'm going to, you know, like, that shit, like, doesn't help you. You need interaction with people. You need to be a social person. And what other people think does affect you. You do need a group of people that accepts you in life. Otherwise, you're going to end up being really fucking depressed. And a lot of people end up fucking killing themselves. And it's terrible. There are so many people on this planet. So many people that feel so similar too. Like, and they just don't want to reach out. And I get that too, because I didn't want to reach out for the longest time either. I want to just be an insular little hateful fucking troll. But it's so important. We need human connections. You know how I know someone doesn't care? I see them come back and I see them come into a store in nothing but a white t-shirt and jogging pants, both of which are stained. I look at that person and think, wow, he really doesn't care, and I respect that. Yeah, dude. Hells yeah.
So what? Like, are we going to
Okay,
ban
well,
open
how can you
disagreement?
then assume his intent behind the initial tweet?
I'm not. We're making a reasonable assumption based off of what he said. That's all we
I mean-
can do.
Well, the other thing is, do you want him to have changed his position just because he was pressured into it?
No, I want him to change his.
This goalpost moving on my part is really fucking annoying here. I should have conceded a long time ago. I didn't. I was obsessed with winning the argument rather than actually having a discourse, even though I did come into it saying that I probably would. I knew that I would probably agree with her more than I would disagree with her. And I knew that I would probably agree with her more than Annie and Swag did at the time, which all of that was true. Doesn't mean I was still all that charitable, because I wasn't. I still just wanted to win. I knew I was agreeing with her more, but I still was like, nah, but you're still wrong.
Position because maybe he heard another perspective and then reasoned himself into it. Because if you don't reason yourself into it and you believe something for no reason, then you're not going to have that perspective founded on like evidence or anything like that. It's going to be pretty weak.
True.
It's the same as the fucking what was it? The fucking Pascal's wages shit when it comes to religion. It's like, I don't actually believe this, but I'm just gonna pay lip service to it anyway because
I'm just gonna hedge my bets.
Yeah. Well, although in this case it's more because like the mob around me is fucking closing in and saying
Oh,
I said something.
That's such an assumption, dude.
But I mean, how do you
time to
feel?
change my position.
How do you feel about it whenever, say, a bunch of people disagree with like someone who's like a white nationalist, like genuinely somebody who's
True.
like, I think that we should like.
See, this is the thing, by the way. Like, I'm all that now. I realize, and yeah, I'm all for this. I am for if someone has a bad take, shame them out of that opinion. Especially if they're a Nazi or not. Now, I don't think that, and I don't know how well this analogy works here, because honestly, I don't think that Stephen King's take was that bad. I think it was an opinion. It might have been wrong, but I don't think it's that egregious necessarily. But hey, personal growth is personal growth, and if he just changed his position from that, then that's great.
This race is better than everyone else. Kind of thing.
Honestly, you gotta be careful, Twitch and all. So.
No, whenever you discuss, I understand Twitch to us. Whenever you discuss this, it's fine. So how do you feel if somebody goes around saying something like that and a bunch of people openly disagree?
I mean, let people disagree. People can have their opinions, though. Like, look, same with anything. If people want to disagree with this, I don't even care that people would disagree. People can fucking disagree. The thing that I think is kind of weak is that, Stephen King just, like, he says something, supposedly on principle, and then just the hate mob closes in, and it's like, oh shit, time to change my position and pretend I never said that.
But how do you know? How do you know that he took it that way and not the way? Like, how do you know he genuinely didn't change? Like, do you know Stephen King personally?
No, but
yes.
It seems to me like a lot of people are trying to get him to change his position. That's the thing. Like, look, like if people want to disagree with white national,
we go scuba surfing together. Don't ask. It's a very top secret pastime. It's very exclusive. Yeah, scuba surfing, yo. It's the bomb, yo. It's the bomb.
Nationalists and be like, you're a fucking moron, whatever. Fine, but like, and if you want to fucking try and change them positions, you can. But it's not fucking. There's no point in it. Like, because people are gonna believe what they're gonna believe.
Well, no, because people change. People change their
mean,
beliefs all the time. I've changed my beliefs quite a bit over the course of my life, and it's thanks to other people who have talked to me and helped me work through reason. And I've, through other people and discussions and having a healthy conversation, I've changed my beliefs over time. Tons
Okay, well,
of people
you know that plenty of people are not that reasonable.
I think as a whole, most people are pretty fucking reasonable when you actually
someone who's wearing
I'm not talking
a white
about most
hood.
people. I'm talking about like the fucking white nationalists.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go into we don't need to watch much more of this. I just go into like, oh well, I actually don't think that people can change. I don't think they're that likely to change their positions, which is just dumb, and I don't even. Trying to shame a racist out of their position probably backfires more often than not. Helps feed into the victim complex the alt-right abuses. Yeah, that is true. I think on some level, like, I think overt shaming pisses people off, but if it's like covert, if it's just like people just being open about the fact that like, oh yeah, I think this position is dumb and people who hold it are really ignorant, and and if we're just all kind of in agreement, and then when someone comes out and says something, it's just like, Yeah, that was a bad take, dude. That's kind of dumb. But I will admit, the left does get a little too hate mobby and woke scoldy and just jumps down someone's throat, when they disagree with them and causes them to double, triple down, which is, I think, what happened with J.K. Rowling. Like, I'm not disagreeing with the people who are pissed at her. I'm pissed at her too. But, like, the fucking hate mob that attacked her, that didn't fucking help. Like, we didn't show her that, like, us trans people are really nice and sweet and great people. We showed her that we're willing to be abusive on Twitter, which, look, and yes, there were definitely some people being genuinely abusive, but even if the vast majority of people weren't being genuinely abusive, the fact that a lot of people were, and then a lot of people were just like, fuck. Much respect for you for not only re-listening to your old viewpoints, but doing it on live stream. Oh yeah, no, I actually enjoy doing this. I used to cringe at the idea of going back to my old content, but now I find it fun because, honestly, as I said during my last patron stream, I was like, guys, like, it's fun to laugh at yourself. It is. If you can learn to actually laugh at yourself, like, it's fun. It's fun. I like it. I enjoy, being able to point out where I was wrong and be able to laugh at myself where I was wrong, where I fucked up. And I think that's extremely important. And, I think, because look, rather than just shaming people for holding certain positions, I feel like it would be disingenuous of me to not point out where I've made the same mistakes. And I feel like if I can point out where I've made the same mistakes, I can also, show people, hey, like, this is where I was coming from, and this is how I came from it. And it's not that bad. It's not that bad to have been in that position because I get it and I know where you're coming from. But, like, it's also not that bad coming out of it. You can become more enlightened and better understand yourself and the world around you and become more empathetic and compassionate. And, it's a good thing overall. Like, rather than just hiding my old viewpoints and pretending I never fucking believed that shit, like, who's that going to help? It's not going to help me. It's not going to help anybody. At least I can have some fun with this shit. Because I really do, I want to get my patron, that segment clipped out of my patron stream, because that was a great segment. Guys, if you have not seen the patron show yet, it's patron show number 7, the latest one. Go join the Patreon. It's only $2 yo. I've done like two or three. I think I've done 3 streams now in a row where I've gone back and commented on some of my old content, and it's been good. I enjoy doing it. Yeah, I went on that tangent to hope that I would remember what I was saying before I got distracted, but I still don't. So, does someone remember the track I was on? Hang on, I'll just play the last couple seconds of this video.
Someone who's
Actually,
wearing a
I'm not
white
talking about most
hood.
people. I'm talking about, like, the fucking white nationalists.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I was off on a tangent. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Sarah just spits some real wisdom. Other people aren't always the best source of knowledge, but access to other perspectives, in my opinion, makes us more well-rounded and empathetic. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of the times just hearing something that's right doesn't necessarily make you understand it. You have to have experiences or, be able to empathize. And for me, like, when I finally let go of this anti-white privilege thing, I mean, I was getting there a little more and more, but the thing that really, like, pushed me over the edge was George Floyd. I actually saw the riots first. I heard about what had happened and I saw the riots first, and then I saw the video being played. Wait, maybe I did see the no, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen the video until the riots started. But anyway, I saw the riots. I saw how angry people were. And at first I was a little not I wasn't unempathetic. I definitely was, and I was definitely like, oh fuck yeah, fucking Viva Revolution. Hell yeah, fuck the cops, fuck injustice, whatever. But I was also kind of like I didn't really care all that much, but I watched the video. I watched the video of George Floyd being fucking lynched in the middle of the street by 3 cops or 4 cops. And that fucking broke me. Because I'll be honest, the Trayvon Martin thing has always kind of got to me. I've always, like, ever since I heard that story that, you know, the kid just walking home, just went to the fucking corner store to buy some fucking Skittles for his little brother and a fucking iced tea or whatever, and gets killed by some fucking dipshit. Some dipshit white nationalist who gets off fucking scot-free, and as the more I hear about him, the more angry it makes me. The fact that he's become famous on this, the fact that he goes around signing packs of Skittles for fucking Nazis, that he goes around to fucking white supremacist fucking events and hangs around with fucking racist pieces of shit. It's always made me mad, but you know, I viewed it as like an isolated incident. It wasn't until I saw the George Floyd thing and it connected in my head. This isn't a once in a while thing. This shit happens constantly. And I looked at George Floyd, and in the minutes leading up to his death, I don't know how many of you noticed this. In fact, it made me mad. Did I look at it? I either watched it on my stream or I watched it on or someone else watched it on their stream that I was watching, but whatever. I think it was Ben Shapiro that made a video when a new clip had come out revealing brand new evidence that George Floyd, the minutes leading up to George Floyd's death, and it showed him acting kind of crazy, and that was supposed to be the nail in the coffin somehow. That shit sickened me, because when I watched that video, I didn't see, oh, look at this fucking druggie, look at this black druggie, oh yeah, he's probably fucking high on like fentanyl and PCP and fucking crack. Fucking black person, fucking degenerate gangster. No. What I saw was a man who was terrified for his life. He might have been high too. That's irrelevant. He was terrified for his life. He was terrified when they had the knee on his neck, but he was terrified long before that. And I viewed that video as more telling in the other direction, not the narrative that the right was trying to push, but that this shows that this man was fucking terrified. This man realized that this interaction with the cops, as a lot of black men do when they come in contact with the cops, realized in that moment that this interaction with the cops could be the last minutes of his life. And he was right. He was right. It's the same reason Jacob Blake ran. Because he saw cops coming. And all he wanted to do was get to his fucking kids, who had to sit in the back of the car and watch him die. Because cops in this country are pussies. So if you want to tell me that there's not white privilege, you can go fuck yourself. Because I'm not buying it anymore. I bought it for too damn long, and I'm ashamed of how long I bought that fucking malicious, fucking dishonest, fucking disingenuous lie of a narrative. Oh, black people are just victims. They're just perpetuating a victim culture. No, they're literal victims. They're literally being victimized in the streets. And nothing's done about it. The cops, by the way, that lynched Jacob Blake are all free, by the way. No charges. That happened right before the 6th, by the way. We all got distracted. We all got distracted by the fucking insurrectionist fucking terrorists that attacked our capital, that we forgot about the fucking gross miscarriage of justice that is allowed to perpetuate constantly in this country. Black people getting lynched by cops and justice not being served. Where is it? Where is justice? I don't see it. So yes, there's absolutely white privilege. And it's something that we as white people, I assume I have white people in my audience, need to talk about. We need to admit. And overall, those people out there who you know who are immediately resistant to the idea of white privilege, we got to show them what the stakes are. We got to explain to them that this is not just some culture war bullshit. There is real systemic injustice. And as a fucking white person, I can't sit idly by anymore as I benefit in whatever small ways from white privilege. And let me just say this, because there's people out there who want to take the white privilege narrative and they just assume, when they hear white privilege, they assume it's an attack on them. They assume that it requires them to do something. And honestly, like, a lot of it just like, a lot of these people wouldn't do something even if it was like necessary. Like most of these people don't want to do shit. I'm not gonna read that comment out loud, but I feel you, dude. I feel you. I'm. Trust me. I sympathize with the sentiment. It doesn't matter if someone is acting weird or what they've done in the past. No one deserves what happened to George Floyd. Yeah. I watched George crying out for help, and I felt a pit in my stomach and kept repeating to myself, "That's someone's son. That could be my son." Yeah. That's someone's son. That's probably someone's brother, someone's uncle, someone's dad. These are people, human beings. And this is why I am so sick of like I'm so sick of like people lumping all groups together. Like, oh, this is how black people are. This is how white people are. This is how Latino people are. I'm so sick of that way of thinking. I'm so sick of the fucking racism that a lot of people like to pretend just isn't racism. I'm so sick of people making excuses for it when it's right under their nose. I'm sick of people making excuses when it's right fucking in front of them. We all see it on a daily fucking basis. We all know. I knew then I was being dishonest. I knew that there was white privilege. I knew that there were plenty of disadvantages to being black, but I couldn't admit it because my ego was in the way. My fragile fucking ego. Can't admit that I have an advantage that someone else doesn't. Can't admit that I might be a little bit ahead in some areas, and still that doesn't fucking take away from what I've been through in my life. That's the other thing. A lot of people really view white privilege as it's something that inherently takes away from your negative experiences and what you've gone through in your personal life. It doesn't. It's just a recognition that there are a lot of systemic issues that need to be fixed in this country. So yeah. That's those are my thoughts on white privilege. I might do something else again in the future to maybe amend my thoughts on these or update them if I think of anything else, but I think that's a pretty good wrap on my thoughts. I guess I'll chat with the chat for a little bit before I go. But how's everyone doing tonight, yo? How y'all doing, yo? What up, Kaorian K? How's it going, yo? Kira Caroso? Rose Black? Everyone I didn't say hi to earlier. How's it going? Stressed AF, if we're being honest. Why you stressed, yo? Why you stressed? We live in base times, yo. Living under anarcho-Bidenism. Let's do it. Let's do it, yo. Trump's over. He lost. Social media kicked him off. He gone. Hell yeah. Trump's over, yo. You're fired, Trump. You're fired. I'm doing all right. My latest story got like 56 upvotes. That's dope, yo. That's dope. Cold, tired, another night of insomnia, really concerned about my gut feelings of the future. Look, I know there's a lot of anxiety about the future right now. I have it too. But it's very important to focus on positives when we can and not let the negatives weigh us down. And so, I don't know, try to focus on something positive in your life or something positive that you can work towards and try to attain. And, or try to focus on the, like, hey, again, there's some good stuff being done. There's some good stuff that the Democrats are doing. Not all good. They're dropping the ball in some areas, but there's some good stuff that's happening and some stuff that we can look forward to. And, shit can get better potentially. Maybe it won't get completely better in all areas, but we can keep fighting, yo. There's always shit to keep fighting for. I wonder how much weirder the future will get. I'm just along for the ride. Hell yeah. It's all you can be, yo. So what was with the accent back in the day? Okay. I have addressed this before, but I will. So there were a lot of reasons for the accent. In fact, I remember when I started speaking that way, I it was for a number of reasons. I didn't like the way I spoke. I didn't like the way I was in general. I didn't like my identity, and all I really knew was I hated myself and I wanted to transition into something else. So I thought, I'm gonna I'm gonna regenerate into a Brit bonger. In all seriousness, there were a lot of reasons. I had a lisp or a speech impediment or whatever, and it was I was doing some speech therapy shit at the time, and I was like, well, because I was having trouble with certain words and shit, and I was like, well, what if I talk what if I talk like this then? Does this work? And the person I was talking to was like, oh yeah, that kind of works if it can help you to speak more distinctly and not mess up certain words. So it just was something I kind of held on to. And I kind of like, this is cringe, but like I did kind of like catch myself. Like I watched a lot of Doctor Who, a lot of Harry Potter, a lot of Monty Python, shit like that. And I would catch myself at home just speaking in a British accent. You know, it was just something that I kind of liked the sound of, and I liked it in my own voice. So again, due to a number of reasons, I didn't like how I sounded. I didn't like who I was in general. I wanted to be anyone else. Now I know what those feelings actually meant. Also, I hated my voice for one big reason. My voice reminded me of my father when I spoke. And one of the worst things, I had my little sister would tell me that too. She'd be like, "You sound like Dad when you get angry," and I was like, or they were like, "You just sound like Dad in general," and I was like, that really hurts. My dad is a disgusting piece of shit, and to hear that from like one of my sisters who hate him as much as I do, that like I remind them of him. When again, I never wanted to be a man, but I especially never wanted to be my father. I remember being young and like telling my mother like, "Oh, you're gonna be hitting puberty soon. You're gonna be a man." I was like, "I don't want to be a man," and that when I thought of a man, I thought of my father, and I wanted to be nothing. So there was a lot of reasons why I wanted to escape. I wanted to escape from who I was, which is why I changed my name to Jae Darké. And I started using the accent, and the more I used it, the more natural it came to me. Because around the time when I did it too, I was kind of going in and out of phases of just not speaking at all, because I had a lot of anxiety about speaking in general, and I was going through some trauma. I was going through some like deep PTSD trauma shit, and like I basically was just like, honestly, if putting on this accent makes it easier for me to speak, because I knew I was like putting on a character, and that kind of, it helped because I knew I wasn't me at that point. I didn't have to be myself because I didn't really know who myself was, and I was scared to explore that, and so I kind of just pushed it down and put up a facade. And that's also why, you know, I could have just talked like this, and I could have just, you know, spoken in a very, you know, a higher tone and you know, a more lighter tone. But no, I talked like this. I was like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers. You know, you're all garbage. You know, I'm a big tough man and angry." You know, like the more I did, I leaned into a more masculine character more and more, because the more I was called like, "Oh, you're a faggot, you're gay, you're this, you're that, you're a pussy," you know, that. And again, like Sarah said, that shit does hurt. The shit society tells you about yourself hurts. It affects you. People do care what other people think. I did care. It affected me in that way. So I thought like, yeah, I gotta be more and more masculine. I gotta be more performatively masculine. So yeah, there's a lot to it. I've addressed it's cringe. But I don't really blame myself for doing it, just because it's, again, there were a lot of reasons. And there was one point where, because I started just using that accent everywhere. I was in high school at the time, and I started just talking like that, and my friends would make fun of me, and my excuse was, "Oh no, I've actually always talked like this. I put on a fake American accent when I came here because I I felt people would make fun of me, and I didn't like, being made fun of. So I started talking like this, and that's why I had the speech impediment thing, because I wasn't very good at doing an American accent. But now this is how I really talk, and some people saw through it, and but I just kept doubling down. How old are you? I'm 26. I relate to that hurt that comes from being told you're like your father. Oh yeah. It's one of the lowest blows, and people in my family know that and have consistently used that against me over the year. Can I just talk about like male disposability for a minute, or male toxic male expectations? Because I'll be honest, like growing up, I was kind of the punching bag in a lot of ways in my family. Like if there was like conflict, it was usually down to like, if there was conflict between multiple members in my family, it would usually come down to me being at fault somehow. Or, my sisters and shit would use me to deflect constantly. It's like, oh, well, why isn't he doing this? Or why did he get away with that? Or what, and like my parents would buy it because, they would do, they also contributed to toxic femininity, which was like, oh yes, our little girls, they're perfect little angels, and they would never do anything bad. It's of course the boy, would be the one that misbehaves and is at fault for most things. Even though I was a very well behaved child, honestly. So like, yeah, I everyone kind of like. I've noticed that like everyone was kind of always okay with like taking the low blows with me, be like, you're just like dad, you remind me of your, and they would know that like affects me and hurts and is something I don't like, but it would be like, he's the boy, he can take it, doesn't matter. But if I had ever said anything like that to my sisters, oh my fucking god, how dare I hurt the fragile little females? Which, by the way, that's one of the reasons I was very resistant to feminism for a while, was because of my upbringing. And the way, like, the females in my family were clearly way more privileged than I was. So I just kind of viewed that as, like, the default. That, like, yeah, no, it sucks being a male. Like, what's actually good is being a female, Those are the people with privilege. And of course, I know that's not true, and I knew that before I transitioned, but holy fuck, even now, like, it hits you sometimes. There's still misogyny out there. There's still, like, guys are creepy. Guys are really fucking creepy. I mean, you convinced me you were British, so thespian? Yes, I am a thespian. I'm a lesbian and a thespian. That was the convenient thing about it, because I do have a natural talent for like putting on voices, so I picked up the British accent pretty fucking quickly. And although it was something I practiced like long before I ever started speaking that way, because I always liked the way British people spoke. And I would always like try to imitate it, because I was always very fascinated by it. I thought it sounded very very good. Let's see. No one wants to hear they look or sound like their parents, especially when their parents are crappy. Exactly. Interesting to hear the full story. As someone who's also self-conscious about my voice, it's interesting to hear your thoughts there. I appreciate you sharing that. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's something I didn't used to like talking about. Something a lot of people would bring up, and I used to just deflect or make a joke or come up with a random excuse. Even TJ like bugged me about it quite a bit. And shortly before I came out, I was being a little more honest about it, but I still maintained always that it was my natural speaking voice. Although I don't think I don't think I've lied at all in the last 3 years about it being my original accent. Anyway. I get accidentally referred to by my father's name to this day. I had to grow a supervillain goatee to visually distinguish myself from the man. Yeah, dude, I feel it. Well, that's why I had the chin strap as well. Because my dad never really did facial hair. Except for once when, dude, so my dad, okay, so we were doing, our church was doing an Easter play. And they were having auditions for, parts. And my dad decided that he one day was like, you know what? I would be perfect to play Jesus. And my dad looks nothing like the traditional depiction of Jesus, but he thought he did. My dad is so arrogant and has such a gigantic fucking ego that he's like, I look just like Jesus. All I have to do is grow a beard, and then it'll be. So he grew a beard for like a few weeks, and went around. He went around in character. Okay, he would do this like around the house and shit. Be like, what? I'd be like, hey dad, can you help me with something? What is it, my child? Yea, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and ye shall find. And I'm like, Dad, just fucking. I'm trying to ask you some serious shit right now. Like, shut the fuck up. You would do that shit. He finally did the audition and he didn't get the part. A dude that actually literally did look like Jesus got the part, and my dad was salty as fuck for weeks. He was like, I should have been Jesus. It's not fair. I look like Jesus. I don't get it. Why wouldn't you make me Jesus? I look like Jesus. Wait. Back the fuck up. An Easter play? Yeah, dude, an Easter play. They did like a crucifixion play every year for Easter, where like they have like some music and like they depict like they'd have like someone play Jesus, and they'd basically show him like walking, with the cross. He'd go like down the aisle of the church, with like people dressed as Romans whipping him, going behind, and then he'd get up onto the stage. He'd put the cross. They'd have like a little stand ready for the cross. They'd put the cross there, and then they'd pretend to nail him up, and all the while some middle-aged bitch is like singing some like terribly sappy fucking music. Ugh, it was some weird shit. But yeah, my dad was salty about that for fucking weeks, dude. He really did think that he should have been the one to play Jesus, yo. Man, what a fun way to spend Easter, thinking about death. I know, right? I mean, Christianity is a death cult. Let's see. Son, why don't you want to be like me? Because I'm not you. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, the putting on a voice thing, that hits super close to home for me as well. I'm a mimic, and I will often use any voice other than my own. Yeah, I mean, still to this day, I'm not using my original voice. If I was gonna talk, no, I don't even. It feels weird, like trying to do it. Hang on, Here, I think this is the closest thing to my real speaking voice that I can possibly get to. There you go. It's not that different. Fuck you. I'm keeping it. Anyway, yeah, like, because again, and I don't think I sound that much like my father when I do that anymore either, but I don't really care anymore because I don't have any contact with my father. I don't listen to him. I don't even know what he sounds like anymore. I haven't talked to him in over a year, but holy fuck. Let's see. OMG, you sound like you're talking about my family. You are an easy target. Yeah, dude. In every family, there's always a Meg. Maybe that's why I don't find the Meg thing funny in Family Guy, because it's like, nah, dude. I've been shit on like that. It's not fun. It's not fun being the punching bag in your family. These people put unrealistic expectations on their kids and wonder why they never call or show up to family get-togethers. Oh yeah, dude. I think it's wrong to put any expectations on your kids, honestly, especially if you're not going to do everything you can to set them up for a good life. Like, fuck you if your kid didn't turn out how you expected. I was like, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck do you think you are? You don't get to expect your child to turn out a certain way. They're a fucking person. They're a fucking person. Yeah, you don't get to be disappointed when your child is different from what you fucking always imagined they'd be. Fuck you. It's none of your business. You don't have a right, dude. It's understandable there's gendered issues for both men and women. It's easy to see how men's issues can be pushed to the wayside in some groups that can be unappealing. Oh yeah. Like there are a lot of men's issues, and having been both a man and a woman, or at least socialized as a man and being a woman, I can see both of those perspectives, and I can see the inequalities on both sides. There's a lot of it on both. It's not just one-sided. I had a history teacher who dressed like Jesus and would drag around a huge wooden cross around town. Damn. The dude who looked like Jesus, Jesus looked at him and just gave him a smug smile. Yeah, dude. Isn't that kind of inherently sacrilegious? Maybe. Culty as fuck, yeah. I thought mimics were those monster treasure chests you get in dungeon. Yeah, yes. Rose Black, absolutely. I was annoyed. My voice never got deep at all. I also have a major lisp, but I've learned to live with it. Yeah, I've learned to live with it too. It's called putting on a voice, and then see. I don't know if you guys noticed. It's mostly gone away for the most part. But I've always done this thing where I don't pronounce my S's properly. I think I've gotten better at it, actually. I used to say everything like this, to be like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" You know, not to that extent, but like you could hear it. My aunt would always give me trouble. She'd be like, "You need to learn to say your S's properly. You have a lisp. You need to learn." What? Okay. It's like, you don't say words properly. I never really noticed it before then. Let's see. I'm a linguistic chameleon. Anytime I'd talk to a kid with an accent or an impediment, I'd adopt their affectations without knowing. People thought I was making fun of them, but I really couldn't help it. Yeah, I've done that too. And honestly, like, it's kind of hard not to sometimes. Like, if I'm hanging around my black friends, or if my because I have a black friend who calls me. I don't hang on. Look, I don't have a lot of contact with most of my old friends, but I do have one, and he's a good dude, good friend. And when I talk to him, I find myself being like, "Yo," more like, "Yo, what up, man? Yo, how's it going, dude? What up, my G, my homie?" You know, because that's the way he talks, and I'm used to talking that way when I'm around him. And even after all these years, I kind of found myself being like, "Yo, what up, man? Hey, yo, what it do, yo? What it do, bro? Vro, what up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Bro, yo." I like that. Long live X, yo. Long live X. I thought of trying to bring back that term, but I don't think people use it outside of X's communities. Vro, dude. I want to bring back. I want to make vro a thing as like a gender neutral version of bro. I think it stands for like very rare only. I don't. I don't exactly get what the slang there is meaning, but it's what XXX Tentacion used to call his friends and shit. Vro, dude. You need to learn not to eavesdrop on people. Yeah, dude. I don't know what you're referring to there, but yeah. Not sure if my if lisp is the right words, but my S's sound like I'm a snake or something. Yeah. Bro is gender neutral in my opinion. I don't know, dude. It's kind of weird because, okay. Around here, I notice a lot of people, when they're talking to a man, they'll be like, hey, what's up, man? What's up, bro? What's up, dude? They'll use all three interchangeably, like, a lot. But when they're talking to women, they're more likely to refer to them by their name. And that's like a number of people I've run into here in Albuquerque. And there's one dude that's like a next door neighbor of mine that, like, when he sees Chess, he'll address her by her name. But when he sees me, he's like, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing, bro? How you doing? Yeah. And I'm just like, So I feel like, bro, I feel like some people are a little too comfortable just throwing bro around. And yeah, I don't know if that guy, look, he might just see me and be like, oh yes, that's clearly just a man in drag. Yes, maybe he needs to be told that I'm trans. I don't know. But, cause yeah, I noticed the difference. I'm not gonna say like, it's just call everyone that. No, there's some people that clearly they use those terms more when they're talking to men. Oh yeah, going to high school in SoCal, everybody used at least a bit of hip-hop slang. People rub off on each other. It's how cultures form. Yes, exactly. And, you know, I don't think it's racist. I know there's some people who are like, oh no, if you use like AAVE, you're racist. You're doing cultural appropriation. Well, I don't agree. I don't believe really in cultural appropriation. I think cultures form, cultures influence other cultures, cultures spread and propagate, and you know, a lot of American culture is influenced by black culture. A lot of it, a lot of our music, a lot of our slang, a lot of our you know, memes and shit, just a lot of it just comes from fucking black culture. So to be like, oh, well, you can't appropriate black culture. I'm sorry, we already are. And by the way, I wouldn't be too against that if I were you, because that's basically, it's a pretty good argument for why we shouldn't just send black people back to Africa. You know, you get these fucking white racists being like, oh, well, they don't belong here. They're not a part of our culture. What are you talking about? Yes, they absolutely fucking are. 1,000,000%. Black people are as much a part of American culture as any other group of people in America. So to be like, they don't belong here is fucking ridiculous. Cultural appropriation isn't necessarily a problem, but cultures should be borrowed from respectfully is the main issue. Oh yeah, no, sure. Like, I would call it cultural appropriation if someone like put on an Indian chief hat and was like, "Ooh, look, me, Indian chief," you know, and started like doing a bunch of like racist shit, you know? They started doing a bunch of like poor imitations of a Native American person, you know? Someone just dressing like that isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, but someone dressing like that and being a negative stereotype in order to make fun of a marginalized group, yeah, that's where it becomes like bad cultural appropriation. But someone being like, oh, you know, like, yeah, I want to wear dreadlocks. I think they're pretty, you know, or I want to, you know, I want to wear, you know, something, I don't know. I want to wear an Indian headdress, not to make fun of Indian people, but because I think it looks cool. I think I look like a fucking badass wearing this thing, you know? I don't know. Were Europeans a part of Native American culture? I have no idea. I don't think so. That's a little different. I mean, there was kind of like the whole white genocide thing. Not white genocide. Actual genocide thing that happened. The Native American genocide. I'd wear a turban if I didn't get looks for being super white. Yeah, I do. I've thought of wearing a hijab before. Cause, or a fucking, just the full, like, everything covered except, like, cause that way I can go out, I can go out in public, be viewed as a woman, and never have to do my makeup. I can be treated as a woman without having to worry about like people looking at my face, which are like, I don't know, your jaw is a little too square, and you got like weird kind of masculine hairline, and is that eyebrow hair I see? Like you fucking yeah, I see some stubble there too. It's all gone. Can't see it. I'm a woman. Fuck off. And men won't hit on me either because they'll be like, you know, I can't see her, and she must be Muslim anyway. So fuck, yeah, I don't get no. Look, there's a lot of racist people here, okay? A lot of racist dudes. I can just skate right by. Now, I might get attacked by a hate crime, too. That's a downside to worry about. Just spray tan around your eyes. Nobody would notice. Yeah, dude. I mean, you could be a white Muslim. There's white Muslims. I've known white Muslims. I grew up in a very Muslim part of Canada, so hell yeah. There really is no such thing as an American culture. We're a bit of everything. Yeah, true. So the OG Kong vs. Gorilla is on YouTube for free. Watched it last night. Realized the natives on Kong's island were all Japanese actors in brownface. Good to know. Good to know that movie is not woke, not based. Needs a new coat of paint probably, or a new coat of not paint. Let's not be painting our faces. Let's not. Because by the way, like if you want to talk about cultural appropriation, I do think blackface is probably the worst form of cultural appropriation. Like I think it's the one that is the least justifiable. There's no reason for like painting your face black or brown. Like there's no reason other than to make fun of black people. I haven't called a racist for wearing traditional Mexican attire despite being mostly Mexican. The issue is I have melanin problems, so I do not exactly have the skin color people associate with this. Yeah, dude, that's the same shit Logic gets, dude, the rapper. In fact, I feel kind of bad. I saw Logic at first. I was like I was listening to one of his songs and he said the N-word and I was like, "Whoa, dude." White dude saying the N-word? I was like, wait, no, there's no way he's saying the N-word if he's white and getting away with it and like rapping with like big ass rappers like Eminem and Joyner Lucas. There's no way. So I looked into it, I was like, okay, he's mixed race. That makes more sense. Whew. Okay. I thought I was enjoying a racist rapper for a minute there. Turns out I was the racist. Okay. Look, people with light skin can be black or mixed race or Mexican or whatever. Okay. Sadly, people look at your skin tone and assume your culture. Yeah, it's dumb. It's really dumb. I'm not sure if that's even cultural appropriation. Minstrel shows were originally a white thing. What? No. Minstrel shows in and of themselves were cultural appropriation, okay? Minstrel shows was basically us being like, let's make fun of some black folk. Ooh, look at us. Look at me eating some watermelon. This show is some good-ass watermelon. I sure am glad my master gave me this watermelon. Yeah, no, that's racist, okay? That's pretty damn racist. That's cultural that's like, oh yeah, we're gonna take what we think is black culture, appropriate it and make fun of it in like the worst way possible. Yeah, no, that is by definition cultural appropriation. I want to wear a sombrero. Just do what I did, grow a big curly mustache. Nah, dude, that's cultural appropriation. Now you're making fun of, like, the stereotypical fucking Mexican dude. I mean, at the end of the day, look, if you see a style you like, you think it's cool, you think it's whatever, you want to dress like that, do it, you know? If your intentions are pure, then, you know, if someone gives you shit, just be like, nah, dude, I just like how this looks, you know? That's all you got to do. By the way, whoever Whoever doesn't love watermelon and fried chicken, fuck off. Yeah, I agree. That's bullshit, yo. Nobody doesn't like watermelon and fried chicken. Okay? That is not just a black thing. But again, it was perceived as a black thing. So it's still cultural because they perceived as, oh, look at this black stuff we can make fun of. And yeah. Sure, initially it was cultural appropriation. These days, I'm pretty sure it's just racism. Not that the distinction is super important, but it's about the intent. Yeah. True. The thing is that if you look at my hair or my bone structure, I have the perfect mix of Cherokee and Mexican, which means they were looking solely at my skin. Yeah. Unfortunately, most people can't see those, like, facial features. Like, most people can't tell by the facial features. They can only tell by the skin color. So. And maybe if I'd have, like, paid closer attention to Logic's face, I might have noticed more myself, because I don't know. Maybe not. Actually, no, definitely, because because I'd only really seen, like, Logic in, like, little thumbnails, you know. I had never, like, looked at a proper picture of him, or I'd seen him, like, in a music video that's kind of dark or whatever. But, like, yeah, he looked white, and I was like, oh, white skin, you must be white, obviously. Yeah, that's kind of racist. I don't like fried chicken or watermelon. Loads shotgun. So what galaxy did you come from, you alien bastard? Yeah, dude. Fucking weirdos. Let me check something real quick. Oh. I'm gonna find my vape. It was right here. Yes, it's a universal thing. Everyone likes chicken and melon. So many native people I've worked with just assumed by the public to be Mexican. Yeah, dude. That does happen a lot. Random question. What's the worst reason you've seen for a character being evil? Ooh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that, honestly. Oh no, there are some pretty terrible plot contrivances where a character is evil. I would have to think about that more. I can't think of something off the top of my head. Honestly, like, Darth Vader has, like, a really okay. If you watch the prequels, Anakin's journey into Darth Vader doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe him losing Padme and thinking he lost his children was the last straw for him, but I don't know. My leg fell asleep and I missed my dental appointment. Now this world will suffer. Okay, no. You know what okay. Ooh, okay. I think I've got it. Cruella de Vil, dude. And she's not the only character that's like this, but she's basically a character that basically any character that grew up in, like, a rich, privileged household or family or whatever, and was, like, really and is, like, into their adulthood really fucking bitter and angry about something they didn't get as a child, even though they had everything they wanted. Cruella de Vil clearly, yeah, from 100. She was rich, right? She came from because I know she always wanted a dog, and she never got one, and then she grew up being evil and be like, well, now I want a coat made of Dalmatian fur, and I will skin 100 puppies to get this coat, and whatever. Yeah, any character that's like that clearly has like one of the most unsympathetic backstories. I had no idea they gave her backstory. I'm pretty sure they do. Okay, I might be making this up in my head, but I'm pretty sure I remember it was either from one of the movies or more likely from the TV show, because there was a 101 Dalmatians cartoon that was on that for a while, that I'm pretty sure they showed her backstory. Maybe they didn't. Hang on. Let's see. Cruella de Vil backstory. Because I know her reason. Either way, whether she was like rich or privileged or not, it was so clear her reason for being evil was that she never got a puppy when she was a child. I know that was the reason. It was because she never got a puppy as a child, and then she grew up and was like, well, now I don't want a puppy. Now I want a coat made of puppies. It was either one of the animated movies or the animated show. I know there was something like that, but I've seen other shows do it too, other characters, where it was like, I always wanted this as a child and I never got it, and now I'm bitter and evil and angry. It's like, oh, her name is Cruel Devil. I just got that. Yeah, dude. What? Wait, you just got that? You just got that? Yeah, dude. I didn't see that, and it sounds super fucking dumb. It was. Yeah, I don't remember where that was depicted, but I've seen it done since as well in other shows that I can't name off the top of my head. But I know it's happened where there's like a character that like is just the epitome of like spoiled fucking rich kid privilege that grows up to like be bitter because they didn't get everything they wanted. They only got almost everything they wanted. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a depiction of Cruella de Vil that was like that. Oh, wait. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, Cruella de Vil is a fictional character and the main antagonist of English author Duty Smith's 101 Dalmatians, a pampered and glamorous London heiress. So yeah, she is an heiress. So yeah, she is extremely fucking privileged. It comes from like money, you know. She's inherited a ton of shit. Heiress. The character appears. Okay. But no, she is even described as an heiress. So yes, she is extremely fucking privileged, extremely fucking rich, and her one fucking regret in life is that her parents wouldn't let her have a dog. Okay? I get it. Having a dog as a child might have made her a more compassionate person. It might have, it might have made her a less evil and uncaring person. But fuck you, dude. You don't have the fucking right to be a total fucking piece of shit because your privileged fucking life wasn't perfect enough. Fuck you. Just saw an article saying 14 reasons why Cruella de Vil is secretly a feminist hero. Take a wild fucking guess what site I saw it on. Couldn't be BuzzFeed. They're a bastion of journalistic integrity. Hey, I like BuzzFeed. They're not. They got some dumb shit on there from time to time, but BuzzFeed is pretty decent most of the time, or a lot of the time. Maybe not most, but yeah. BuzzFeed is hot garbage. Okay. Not all of the writers on BuzzFeed are the most effective leftists. I'll give you that. A lot of them have some dumb takes from time to time. Their news site is pretty fucking good. BuzzFeed News is pretty good. Their quizzes are pretty fucking good. And they have some decent articles from time to time. I'm not saying they're all good. But I've seen some stuff that has been written on BuzzFeed that I was like, oh yeah, it's actually pretty good. There's definitely some less sane people that write for BuzzFeed. But I don't view it as like the fucking irredeemable hellhole, I guess, that some people do. Fuck yeah, BuzzFeed. I gotta do more BuzzFeed quizzes, yo. BuzzFeed quizzes are fun. So yeah, I was right. Cruella sucks. She's a piece of shit. Maybe it was maybe it was 101 Dalmatians 2 where they showed that. I don't know. I remember at least a short scene where they showed her wanting a puppy and never getting one. But yeah. Fuck her. Now this is the BuzzFeed show, yo. All BuzzFeed all the time. No, I'm not denying there's some dumb shit on BuzzFeed. Don't get me wrong there. But feed the buzz. I've never looked at BuzzFeed Unsolved. I don't know what that is. Anyway, maybe I'll wrap this stream up, yo. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, if y'all are interested in oh, if you want to link that, sure. Yeah, go ahead and link that. Yeah, I'll look at that before we go, I guess. But yeah, me and Annie are probably gonna do a call-in show tomorrow. On Underhaven, so yeah, subscribe to Underhaven and join the Underhaven server. I think the motivation of a villain that is because I want to can work, but it has to lean into the absurdity of it all. Like Dio, everyone in the show acknowledges he makes no sense. I don't know what show you're talking about. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. Look, even if this is dumb, it's still not an overall. It's still not an overall condemnation of BuzzFeed as a whole. Okay, let's see. 14 reasons why Cruella de Vil is secretly a feminist hero. Just put aside the whole killing puppies thing for like a minute. Okay, that's fine. We'll do that. Let's put aside the killing puppies thing. JoJo? Oh, I've never seen that. Okay, number 1. She's a successful career woman who runs her own business. True, I guess. 2. Unlike most managers, Cruella immediately recognizes her talented female employee. Yeah, doesn't she also steal her designs or whatever? But okay. And even demonstrate interest in Anita's personal life. Okay. She uses her position of power and relative privilege to lift up other women. So wait, I guess she doesn't just steal it then. And this is Cruella's face when Anita tells her that she plans to quit her job once she gets married. Yeah. Okay, I can kind of see. Yes, she steals the ideas and designs a lot. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in like forever. I can kind of see where the article is kind of go. By the way, I really do think this is meant to be a light article. I don't think it's meant to be serious. Not too serious anyway. I mean, it was just, okay, let's put the whole killing puppies thing aside for now. Because look, I'm going to be honest, guys. When it comes to positive female representation in, like, especially Disney movies this old, there's not a lot of it. So I can see why some women feel like they have to, like, stoop to the level of Cruella de Vil for positive female representation, because we don't see much else. That's kind of true. At least not back then. So BuzzFeed is saying that strong women are bitches. No, they're pointing out specific things, right? She's a successful career woman who runs. They're not pointing out her negatives. They're just pointing out the positives here, which we can say, like, that all gets fucking... You have a dog. See, this is a joke, guys. This is a joke. This whole article is a joke. You realize this, right? Shh, this is being sarcastic, guys, and even demonstrates an interest in Anita's personal life. You have a dog, yeah, guys. Oh my god, yeah. I don't know why I didn't notice that sooner. Like, this is satire, guys. This is fucking satire. I think there's a lot of satire on BuzzFeed that gets taken too seriously. Well, if it's a joke, I can't really critique it. Yeah. This is clearly a joke. Okay, what else? 6. When Anita decides to marry a man after spending one afternoon with him, which even for Disney standards is insane. True. Cruella is duly skeptical. Yeah, I would be too. It's like, well, you just met this dude, you're gonna marry him. Yeah, that's kind of, again. Let's see. It's also at this point in the movie where we learn that Anita, an adult woman, still has a nanny. Sound familiar? No, I don't watch that. But okay. Cruella is so successful that she can throw down 7,500 pounds for some puppies like it's no big deal. She is surrounded by inept men who are outsmarted by baby dogs. Sad. True. It is funny. Like, oh my god. Yeah, if you look at this from a lighter perspective, it's like, yeah, dude, she kind of is. She kind of is, yo. Why are these gifs not appearing? Between her running her own company and orchestrating elaborate puppy heists, Cruella still finds the time to look amazing in every scene. So, okay, it's just pictures of her. Don't know why they didn't load. She maintains her razor-sharp wit even in moments of duress, like when this rodent stole her hat. It's like, darling, red isn't your color. She has no need for babies. Damn right. But above all, Cruella goes after what she wants and doesn't give a damn what other people think. Damn right. Puppies. By the end of the movie, Roger enjoys professional success and creates a hit video game. Irrelevant? What? Okay. What? Okay. I don't know what that's about. 14. Anita quits her job to stay at home with her baby, even though she has a nanny. And powerful, opinionated women... and a powerful, opinionated woman has been dragged through the literal mud. Literally. Not figuratively, just literally, okay? She deserves it still. Cruella is amazing, and this movie villainized working women. I love you, Cruella. Except for the part where you, except for the part about you wanting to turn puppies into coats, which admittedly is difficult to overlook. Yeah, see, this is it's all in good fun, okay? Like, this is just, I need to get paid and I don't know what to write about. I mean, it's funny. I like it. It's not the most clever thing ever, but it's kind of clever. BuzzFeed is so weird. It is. It is. Its writers are a bunch of strange folk, but I don't think they're inherently malicious people. I think there's a lot of people that villainize BuzzFeed and view it as some like ultra left propaganda network, when a lot of the times it's either just opinions or jokes that people are getting mad about. Like, someone makes an opinion piece and it's like, oh my God, look at BuzzFeed trying to push an agenda. It's like, this is someone's opinion piece, which, by the way, is why I don't really respond to opinion pieces unless it's a really unique take that I want to comment on. I don't comment on opinion pieces, in other words. Dude, if I could get paid writing shit like this, I would do it. I would do it all day. People used to judge BuzzFeed by its SJW stuff. Yeah. I just think it's not as SJW heavy as some people think. I think that, again, comes from a very uncharitable view that has been propagated by the right and by centrists and fake centrists, mostly fake centrists. I don't believe most centrists are centrists, okay? I just don't. They do too much right-wing dog whistling for me to believe that they're actually moderates. Anyway, I don't get offended at the mention of BuzzFeed. I just consider it a genuine waste of my time to engage with. Well, fair enough. If you don't like BuzzFeed, don't go to BuzzFeed, but I mean, I still use them for, like, again, BuzzFeed News is really good. They do a good job, I think. And yeah, there's some fun stuff to find on BuzzFeed. Of course there's crap on BuzzFeed, but like there's fun to be had there too, right? There's fun articles, there's fun quizzes, there's interesting weird shit. It's a lot of it is weird pop culture stuff that most people wouldn't get, but if you don't like it, you don't gotta pay attention to it. I mean, I get that, but when there are articles like 15 reasons why men should be imprisoned from birth, it gives the wrong... Wait. 15 reasons men should be imprisoned from birth. Okay. Let's see if I can find that article. Ooh, couldn't find it, dude. Couldn't find it. No, I'm exaggerating. Yeah, I figured. There really isn't stuff like that. Except, by the way, okay, so y'all remember that one, how to create a perfect utopian feminist society. You know, it was like, oh, we can imprison men and this and that and milk them for their sperm. Like, you guys realize that was satire too, right? And a lot of people, like, took that seriously. It was like, this is what feminists really want. It's like, no, they don't. Okay, it was probably really cathartic for the woman who wrote that to write it. Maybe she's dealt with a lot of men that she's sick of or whatever. She's like, fuck men, but no one actually thinks that. No one's arguing for that kind of shit. It's not happening. It's really not, guys. Are there people who take things so too far? Sure, but they're not the fucking majority. It low-key sounds like a sex fantasy. Oh yeah, no, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a guy... either wrote that or jerked off to it after that woman wrote it. It was like, oh yeah, tie me up to the fucking milking machines and whip me hard as I'm hanging up there naked. Yeah, I want to be a slave to some women. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. Okay. Slave to the hyper-feminist society. Oh, sounds like a good time to me. But I'm a masochist and a lesbian, so. Yeah, the idea of women tying me up and whipping me doesn't sound too bad, yeah. Yeah, the hyper-feminist satire they sometimes put out can be a little cringy, and it does give the right wing a lot of ammo. I don't know, it's not a huge problem, but probably better to say that stuff privately. Yeah, no, sure. I'm not denying that BuzzFeed has over the years contributed to a lot of bad optics for the left. But I think it's doing better lately, honestly, and I don't see as much stuff from that kind of stuff from there lately, and I think a lot of people are still holding BuzzFeed to a standard that they used to be at like a couple years ago, 2016, but like now it's just not as much. Like that you might be able to still find it, but like that's not what BuzzFeed is all about. It's just not. It was so funny when TJ used to get all worked up about the SJW stuff because a lot of it was pretty exaggerated. Oh, yeah, it was. And that's what got me all fucking hyped up about it, because they're attacking us as men. They're attacking anyone who's not a woman. They want us to be ashamed of ourselves. No, they just want, like, fucking equality. And that would actually help men, too, but... I tend to avoid most news sites since I wobble between nihilistic and warily optimistic depending on my mental state day by day. I do not want to be dragged down. I don't want to be dragged down, Yeah, no, I get that. And that's why I stay away from news sites aside from doing this and Underhaven for the most part, because especially when it becomes part of something that you do every week as an obligation, paying too much attention to it outside of that can be very draining. But, however, I would like to point out, I don't completely agree with your use of the word nihilistic there. I think you mean cynical, because nihilistic is not cynicism. It's not pessimism. It's not a deep, unending hopelessness. Nihilism is simply the recognition that there is no inherent meaning in the universe. You can be an optimistic nihilist like I am. I believe that the fact that there's no meaning gives us the ability to make whatever we want of our existence. And I view that as an inherently good thing, a freeing thing. And yeah, it kind of bugs me when people like use nihilist as a synonym for like hopelessness and cynicism, when it's like that's not what that is. Because optimistic nihilism is based, yo. It's based. None of it matters till you make it. Damn right. Damn right. Maybe it's because I'm slightly autistic, but I do have trouble noticing sarcasm in a written format. Yeah, no, I understand that. It can be hard to notice. As a cynical nihilist, that also pisses me off. Yeah, dude. Because, again, nihilist is just one part of it. Like, if you're a cynical nihilist, which, yeah, you can be a cynical nihilist, or you can be a pessimistic nihilist like Paul. I'm tired. I meant the correct term, but with the edge of cynicism. Sorry, English tends to fail me a bit when I'm tired. With it being my your third language, your what? Okay, it's not your first language. I get you. No, it's just I see a lot of prominent people. Like I've seen Matt Dillahunty use it in that way a lot, and that really annoys me because For a while, I was like, dude, TJ and Matt Dillahunty should have a conversation about nihilism. And then I did that stream a while back where Matt Dillahunty was like shitting on TJ and just like being really uncharitable. I was like, yeah, okay, that's never gonna happen. Unless TJ calls in to the atheist experience, which I also don't see him doing. So Spanish and Latin, dope. That's pretty dope, yeah. Fuck English. It's a boring language. Dillahunty has sour grapes. He does. Honestly, ever since then too, like I really don't watch him as much. Actually, no, I think I stopped watching him a little bit before then. And I don't not watch him because of that or because I don't like him. I do like him. I think he's smart and I think he has a lot of really good shit to say about atheism, but I've kind of moved past that, you know? Like atheism is kind of more than a foregone conclusion to me at this point, so I don't really need to continue watching the atheist content. But I view the value of it for, you know, people who are still new to this shit. English is so weird, the rules that violate other rules, there being so many exceptions to everything. Yeah, it is a weird language. I've always wanted to learn other languages. I wanted to learn Japanese when I was younger, but that one's a really hard one to learn. I kind of lately I wanted to learn German for a while. I still kind of do, but that's more on the now I want to learn Spanish, and that's just because I'm in New Mexico and there's a lot of Spanish speaking people here, and I think it'd be pretty cool to like be able to like communicate with everyone here. And I always just wanted to learn Spanish in general because I think it'd be useful in a lot of ways. It's shockingly easier than English. Oh yeah, no, I can tell. Like I know a little bit of Spanish, and it's already like it's way easier to just pick up by hearing it than any other language I've listened to. Atheism is such a boring conversation, and to be honest, I don't see the issue with people being religious if it brings them comfort and doesn't do them too much harm. That's the problem. Religion does do harm inherently. Now, there are people. I've met some good Christians. There are by the way, like for example, I didn't realize this, but AOC is religious. It's clear to me. I don't know if she's a Christian or not, but it's clear to me based on the way she governs and the policies she believes in that she's one of the few. If she is a Christian. She's one of the few religious people in America who actually follows the teachings of Jesus. Surprisingly enough. I know, they're hard to find, really. So if you can find a Christian that actually believes in, you know, being kind and caring and loving their neighbor and, you know, turn the other cheek, feed the hungry, heal the sick, all of that shit. They follow the teachings of Jesus and they believe them and they, based. Cool, epic. I don't have any qualms with you, but a lot of religious people have some really underlying dangerous belief systems. Like organized religion does harm inherently, in my opinion. I don't think it can be proven that I don't think it can be proven that spirituality will inherently cause more harm than good, especially on an individual level. No, that's true. But people who are more look, I just think overall people need to be less religious minded. If people want to be spiritual, sure, that's fine. I still think that that's rooted in delusion to some level, but if it's not harming them, then sure. The problem is the vast majority of religious people are engaged in a harmful form of it, and the ones that are actually decent people are few and far between and hard to find. Anyway, I've been streaming for like 3 hours now. God fucking damn. So I'm going to piss off. I'm like, Yeah, my voice is about to start going, and I'm getting like a headache from hearing myself talk. I don't know why. I've kind of had a headache today, so yeah, I'm gonna peace out, guys. It's been nice chatting with y'all. Hang on, I'll read this last comment. My religion has one rule: keep the damage to a minimum. All it's about is being in touch with nature, the cosmos, oneself. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Trust me, there's some people who have constructed some decent religious or spiritual beliefs, but again, those people are hard to find. The vast majority of people in churches are just horrible people using their religion to virtue signal and deflect from the fact that they're horrible people. So that's still a problem in our society. Anyway, guys, I love you guys. Thanks for chilling with me. I'm going to go eat something. I love you. Peace out, guys. We'll see you tomorrow on the Underhaven call-in show. Don't miss it. Go subscribe and join the Discord.